It's the final day at Carlton-Davidson Stadium here for the Wittenberg Tigers, their final series at home of the 2024 season. They host the DePauw Tigers with a lot of NCAC implications on the line. Midday Tuesday baseball. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. I'm Jackson Lightcap, joined with Dylan Jackson. Two great teams in the NCAC. Number one, the Wittenberg Tigers, coming off a split on Saturday against Denison. They lost that game Sunday against Adrian, going up against DePauw, who currently sits in third in the NCAC.
As you said, big NCAC turnout for here today, right? Obviously, Wittenberg is the 1 seed at 10-2 in conference. DePauw is the 3 seed at 9-3. They only have 3 losses, just like Denison does, but Denison has 11 wins, a little bit more games in their schedule. Just a really big NCAC day today. The 4 seed, there's a lot of implication going on with those games today. Should be a really fun matchup here today.
It should be a very fun matchup, and one thing that's a little bit different about the midweek games is that you don't necessarily know what to expect in the midweek conference games.
Oh yeah, obviously, majority of teams, they go, their number 1 and number 2 starters go on Saturday, right? So you'll see for both teams here today, you won't see, for Wittenberg, you won't see a Luther, you won't see a Cunningham, right? You might see one of them coming out of the pen, maybe, right? For DePauw, you won't see the guy who's probably the favorite to win the NCAC Pitcher of the Year, and Michael Vallone, right, the left-handed pitcher. We won't see him today. We won't see their number 2 possibly, right? So you get more of the midweek guys. You get to see the offense maybe explode a little bit, or you might just see some clean baseball. Midweek is always fun. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, folks, it's about time for first pitch, but first let's take you down to the field for the Wittenberg starting lineup and the national anthem. When we return, we'll have starting lineups for DePauw and Wittenberg, and first pitch. It's on the way here on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS.
Now it's time to meet the startup for your Wittenberg Tigers. Leading off from playing center field, number 3, Ben Simon. Batting second base, number 17, Luke Thomas. Holding the left field, number 32, Rocco Wood. Batting field to play left field, number 15, Colorado Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a wonderful country that offers freedoms like no other. At this time, please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, it was rainy all through the night and even some this morning in the Champion City, Springfield, Ohio, but the sun has starting to peek through the clouds, 69 degrees Fahrenheit, and a breezy day right off the shores of Buck Creek. Let's take a look at how DePauw will line up. Cam Macon will lead things off. Louis Florida will bat second, followed by Danny Glimcloak. Grady Johnson will bat in the cleanup spot. Hunter Herbeck will bat fifth, followed by Carter Knoll, Ty Suker in the seventh spot. Aiden Howard bats eighth. And in the ninth spot will be Max Bond. On the mound for the Wittenberg Tigers, they will be met by Mikey Eichhoff.
Yes, Mikey Eichhoff, the sophomore, really redshirt freshman, left-handed pitcher out of Akron, Ohio. Mikey has been very, very good this season, especially recently in his recent starts. In his last recent starts, he's had a game where he went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned run, only 2 hits, right? He had another game where he came out of relief, went an inning, struck out a guy, only gave up 1 hit, no runs. Mikey's been very, very good for the Tigers as of recently. Over the year, 5.33 ERA, a 1.62 WHIP, 25 and a third innings pitched, and 3-2 on the year so far.
Well, let's take a look at how the Tigers will line up defensively. Across the outfield, left field to right field, we will see Rocco Royer, Ben Seibert, and Connor O'Malley. Across the infield, third to first, will be Alex Nemunitis, James McCauley, Luke Thomas, and then Xander Rodriguez. Behind the dish will be Parker Griskovich. We're about ready to get going. Daytime baseball, a delayed start because of the rain that moved through the area. Glad you are with us here on the Tigers Sports Network. Here comes Macon. Macon will lead things off, a .287 batter. He has 2 home runs, 15 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .435, and an on-base percentage of .458. Eichhoff only works from the stretch. First pitch fastball misses inside, ball 1. We're underway. First pitch coming at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Time.
Macon is a guy for any of DePauw folks, any NCAC regulars. Macon's been a guy who's been in this lineup the second he stepped in to DePauw. This is a guy with 144 career starts, 145 games played. He's a career .320 batting average, right? So this is a guy in the leadoff spot who, as you said, gets on base at a really good rate.
Followed up fastball misses upstairs. Eichhoff goes back to work off speed, upstairs again. And Eichhoff quickly behind, 3 balls and no strikes.
But Macon, as I said, the senior has been starting for this team for a long time. In his sophomore season, he batted .377. His junior year hit .324, so his average is down this year, but this is still a very capable hitter. As he gets on, oh, never mind, that is a strike. A little late strike called right there from the umpire, right? But a very good leadoff batter for this DePauw baseball team.
3 balls and 1 strike as that got the upper half of the zone. Eichhoff, deep breath, trying to battle back. Here comes the pitch. Another fastball right down Broadway for strike 2, and we've gone full. Eichhoff was down 3-0, now trying to battle back as it's worked its count full. 3-2, Eichhoff kicks, deals, and it's left upstairs way high, and it's ball 4. A leadoff walk for Cameron Macon, and that'll bring up Louis Florida. Florida, a .298 hitter, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, has the ability to do some damage hitting in the 2 spot for the DePauw Tigers. Macon also has some speed around the base paths as well. Sidestep to the plate, fastball paints the outside corner for strike 1.
Umpire gives a little bit of a late strike call, so we're going to have to wait and see a little bit to see if it's a ball or a strike.
We'll have to adjust for that. It is 0-1. Eichhoff with the lefty v lefty matchup. Got the outside corner again, painting that outside edge, and it's 0-2.
Very good slider right there from Eichhoff. You'll see him go to that slider a lot of the times, no matter what the count is.
0-2, Eichhoff will check back Macon. Rodriguez was pulled off the bag, had to go get it. He does. With that being said, Macon back safely.
Florida, the sophomore hitter, has an OPS of .977, so a very good sophomore campaign.
0-2, just missed outside, and it's 1-2.
This DePauw team, their batting average as a team is down. Not low, obviously, but at .295 compared to Wittenberg's offense. We know what they've done this season so far, right? But their offense is a little bit down when it comes to the batting average stat, but they still get on base at a good rate. They slug pretty good as well. 18 homers on the year. So this is a very good ball club, a very good game that we have ahead of us.
1-2, the pitch, fouled back and out of play down the third base line. And we're due the 1-2 once more. DePauw, the number 3 team in the NCAC. Wittenberg currently number 1. Wittenberg will head on the road this weekend to close out the regular season against Kenyon. Pitch, slider left upstairs, and it's 2-2. Both these teams have already clinched a spot in the NCAC tournament. The only question is, what is the seeding going to become between Wittenberg, DePauw, and then, of course, Denison? Here's the 2-2. Dribbler out on the ground. McCauley has it on a hop. Goes to second for one. Thomas, no throw across the diamond. They get the fielder's choice. And one away in the inning, and Florida will take the spot of Macon at first. And that'll bring up Danny Glimklow, the right fielder. Glimklow on the season, a .287 batter. He has 5 home runs, 38 RBIs, and a .525 slugging percentage, a .389 on-base percentage. Glimklow, a power threat, hitting in that 3's hole. Fastball misses upstairs for ball 1.
Glimklow, another senior in this lineup, listed as a two-way player for this DePauw Tigers team.
1-0 comes to the plate. Swing and a miss, starting on the fastball. Evens the count at 1.
Glimklow last year Glimklow was all NCAC second team. His sophomore campaign, he was all NCAC honorable mention. So this is a guy who's been a very prominent hitter for this DePauw baseball team for many years.
Fouled back to the backstop that time. Eichhoff got him early on the changeup, and he's quickly ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes on Danny Glimklow. Eichhoff will throw back. Florida dives back safely. Florida grounded into that fielder's choice. Took the spot of Macon at first, who drew the leadoff walk. Slider misses upstairs, 2-2.
Glimklow is a guy who his strikeout rate is pretty high in comparison, right? He strikes out at a decent clip, right? But he gets away with that, and you trust the leeway of that when he's a guy who has 23 career home runs, right? So this is a guy who has plenty of power, right? This season, as you said, he's only hitting .287, but his slugging percentage is .525, right? So this is a guy who, yes, he may strike out in certain at-bats or whatever, right? But in a situation like this, where you have a guy on base, if he can hit a long ball at any moment and get 2 runs just like that, you will take that in the middle of your order.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Danny Glimklow. Comes to the plate, and fly ball out to right field. O'Malley runs in right along the foul line, able to make the catch in fair territory for out number 2. Glimkow's down after an F9. Florida retreats back to first. And with 1 on and 2 out, that'll bring up Grady Johnson, the third baseman. Johnson leads the team in batting average for DePauw, a whopping .399. He has 1 home run, 26 knocked in, and a .436 on-base percentage, .471 slugging percentage.
Johnson, the one of 2 freshmen in this DePauw lineup, in the starting lineup here in game number 1. The freshman, as you said, having a fantastic season, hitting .399 to start his career. Has played and started in 33 games this season. .399, OPS of .907. So a very talented player right here for the young freshman.
1-0, another lefty versus lefty matchup. Rodriguez slaps the tag as Eichhoff wants to check back Florida first. And he's back safely again, just trying to keep him honest. Over on the base paths. Johnson, you mentioned a freshman, and what an insane freshman campaign he's had. Again, it takes you back to that .399 batting average through 138 ABs. He started all 33 games this season for DePauw.
Leads the team in at-bats this season. This is a guy who's come in and obviously made a very big impact right away for this DePauw team.
And when you look at the second leader in batting average, it's a tie at .312 as this one runs inside and got him. And that'll put Johnson on base with 2 away, and now there's 2 on and 2 out and a runner and sitting in scoring position as Florida. Looked like fastball just got away from Mikey Eichhoff, clipped him high and inside, and that'll bring up Herbeck. Going back to Grady Johnson, though, .399 average. The second highest batting average on the team is .312 between Carter Knoll and Ty Suker. And here comes Hunter Herbeck.
And that's between guys that have the significant amount of at-bats, all guys with over 90 at-bats.
Herbeck will foul a first pitch fastball back to the backstop. And it's 0-1. 2 on, 2 out. We're in the top of the first. 0-0 the score at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. Hunter Herbeck will stand in, a .292 hitter. He has 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a runner in scoring position for the DePauw Tigers.
Sophomore catcher right here. So you see a little bit of a mixture of young young guys and upperclassmen for this DePauw team.
Roped down to right field. O'Malley giving chase. O'Malley will watch that one go foul.
Pretty similar to this Wittenberg team, right? The mixture of upperclassmen and underclassmen, right? We've seen in the NCAC as a whole, a lot of these top teams have a lot of very promising young guys, right? You have a guy like on Wittenberg and Xander Rodriguez, the freshman. We've talked about him plenty here on this broadcast. A young guy in Alex Immunitis, James McCulley, got young guys all over the field who have made big impacts in the NCAC.
0-2 from Eichhoff. This one swung on and hit foul down the right field line. And it's still 0-2 with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the first.
And that is usually a thing of a great program, right? Having the mixture of young guys that can come in and play right away along with the older guys that can be the leaders and show them how to lead and be a responsible player while also performing at the same time.
0-2 from Eichhoff. Found back to the backstop. And the screen will catch it and will not quite push it back into play. 0-2. And that's the one thing that you mentioned. A lot of teams will get a great recruiting class and they ride them for 4 or 5 years. And knowing that that window is going to open when they're juniors and seniors, great programs, they like to do the mix and match, and that's how you see some of the consistent programs. Slider left high, and it's 1-2.
Good pitch right there. Good idea at the top of the zone. Good job from Herbeck to not chase after that one. Big thing for Eichhoff, his K per 9 is not that high, right? He hasn't gotten a lot of strikeouts, right? Seeing if you can maybe get one right here to get a big out.
1-2, the pitch. Just misses downstairs, and it evens it up at 2-2.
And with that guy getting on base and getting in the scoring position with 2 outs, right, it's a big thing sometimes to be able to get a strikeout, right? Because even a little dinker after that hit by pitch with 2 outs can score that first run, and you want to do whatever you can to get a 0 in the top of the first inning.
2-2, Eichhoff sees the plate, kicks and delivers, found back out of play again.
You see, just not able to get that put-away pitch right now, as Herbeck's doing a great job staying alive, fouling off these pitches.
Hunter Herbeck has certainly been battling at the dish here against Mikey Eichhoff. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Herbeck. Eichhoff kicks, steals, comes to the plate. It's in the dirt. Griskovich with the block.
Good changeup right there. Good idea, but Herbeck just sees it well out of the hand, does not swing and chase at that one. Now you have a full count. You got these runners that will be moving. Now a ball in the gap. You have a threat of Johnson scoring from first base as well. So got to execute a pitch here if you're Eichhoff, and you got to make a play defensively if you're the Wittenberg Tigers.
3-2. Runners take off, fouled back, and the runners on the base paths will moan the grunt that they're going to have to go back 90 feet. Maybe not quite 90 feet. I don't think they were up at the other bases. It's now 3-2 again, and a great battle here by Hunter Herbeck with Carter Knoll, the first baseman, standing in the on-deck circle. 3-2. Runners take off again. Fly ball down the right field line and out of play.
This is a great at-bat. Even if Herbeck is to not win this at-bat, this is a great at-bat in the top of the first inning, right, to get Wittenberg's starter up in pitch count, right? Doing an at-bat like this affects later in the game to see how long Eichhoff can go.
This at-bat has reached double digits. It's 3-2 with 2 outs. Eichhoff kicks, steals, comes to the plate, rumped on the ground to third. It's into the left field. The windmill is on. Here comes the throw. They're going to go to third base. It's thrown away. Eichhoff's going to have to run over, cut it off. In the meantime, Herbeck will advance up to second base. A good 2-out piece of hitting by Hunter Herbeck. He gets an RBI single, moves into scoring position, and now there's 2 runners in scoring position for DePauw, with 2 away in the inning, and the inning will continue for Carter Knoll.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication there. Immunitis dove to try to get that ball, and James McCulley goes to cover third base. Throws it right in between the 2 of them, and that allows the next runner to advance to second base. Now another base hit scores 2 runs right here. Just unfortunate for the Tigers. And a good piece of hitting and a really good at-bat by Hunter Herbeck to get that first run of the ball game for DePauw.
Hunter Herbeck with an RBI. Here comes Carter Knoll. Looks at a fastball. I got in the outside corner for strike 1, followed up with a changeup that he was early on, and it's 0-2.
There's that slider, actually. Lefty on lefty, you'll see him go to that a lot. As I said, in multiple counts, right? 0-1 right there, trusting that pitch. Gets him to swing ahead of that one. Now ahead, real big here, 0-2. Let's see if we can get that put-away pitch now in this at-bat.
0-2. Here's the pitch from Eichhoff. This one skied high out into left field. Rocco Royer giving chase. Looks up, has it in its sights, and will make the catch for out number 3. The side is retired. DePauw gets 1 on a nice battle, won by Hunter Herbeck. Run to the bottom of the first. The DePauw Tigers played a run. They lead 1-0 here They're on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. DePauw plates a run in the top half of the inning. We head to the home half of the first. Let's take a look at the Wittenberg starting lineup. Leading things off will be Ben Seibert, followed by Luke Thomas and Rocco Royer. O'Malley will hit in the cleanup. Alex Demunitis will bat fifth. The true freshman, Xander Rodriguez, bats sixth. Matt Moore, seventh. Parker Griskovich, eighth. And last but not least, James McCauley on the mound for DePauw will be Nathaniel Tenza.
Nathaniel Tenza, he has started in 6 games this season, 35 innings pitched. In his freshman campaign, he had 26 innings pitched in 1 game, started 16 appearances. So this is another young guy, as we said, just like Eichhoff for the Wittenberg Tigers. They have a young pitcher for DePauw as well. He has a 5.66 ERA this season so far. He's 2-3 on the year in his 6 starts. He has a 304 batting average against, right? Not a lot of strikeouts as well for, let me make sure I get this name right, for Tenska, right? So this is the guy, if you're the Tigers, you have to make sure you can get ahead, be aggressive early, see if you can get some early hits, and try to get to their bullpen as quick as possible, right? But a good, very good, young, talented pitcher right here for DePauw. So either way, this Tigers offense, as hot as it's been, you got to have good at-bats here.
Let's take a look at how DePauw will line things up across the outfield. Lewis Florida in left, and center will be Aiden Howard. And Glimko in right across the infield. Grady Johnson, Max Bond, Cameron Macon, Carter Knoll at first, and behind the dish will be Hunter Herbeck, who had that great at-bat and an RBI single in the top half of the inning. Leading things off for the Tigers, here comes Ben Seibert. And we've talked about Ben Seibert, who's bounced around the order a little bit this year before finding a home in the leadoff spot. First pitch fastball misses upstairs. Ben Seibert, a .343 hitter. He has 3 home runs, 30 knocked in on the year. Playing his best games from the leadoff spot. Nice breaking ball, misses inside though, and it's 2-0.
In that Denison doubleheader on Saturday, he had 2 home runs on the day, right? A big day for Ben Seibert, as you said, has really found his home in that leadoff hole, leadoff spot.
2-0. Tenza comes to the plate, fastball down the middle for strike 1.
Good take right there from Ben Seibert, right after starting off 2-0, knowing he has to still come back with a couple of strikes in the zone.
2-1. The pitch from Tenza, curveball, got the upper half of the zone, and we're even at 2-2.
You're going to see Tenza go to the breaking stuff a lot, it seems like. You see him going to sliders, some curveballs, probably has a changeup as well. Doesn't walk a lot of guys either. I say didn't strike out many, doesn't walk a lot of guys either, so there's going to be a guy who's commanding the zone.
2-2, pitch outside, and we've gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Ben Seibert. The umpire calls 2-2. Here's a pitch from Tenza. Check swing, fouled back. Whatever the count may be, we'll do it again. We thought we had 3-2 up here.
Yeah, I thought it was 3-2. I think that the umpire is incorrect, and that's why Ben Seibert is also confused. Yeah, the umpire is definitely wrong. Let's see if he corrects himself.
And manager Brian McGee out of the Wittenberg dugout will get a hold of him, and will confirm it is 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ben Seibert.
Just a quick little mistake. He fixes it right away, though. That's good to see.
It's a Tuesday. It's still early in the week. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball got Seibert tomahawking right through it. Round number 1.
Good pitch, 3-2 right there. The fastball elevated. Would have been a ball if you don't swing, but as a hitter, you're being aggressive. You see that ball out of the hand early, and he's able to get that strikeout to lead off the game. Now Luke Thomas will look to get things started with 1 out for the Tigers.
Luke Thomas, a senior, will stand in, 394 hitter. No home runs, 13 RBIs. He hit leadoff for the majority of the season, then dealt with some injuries at the beginning of the year, and has worked himself back and has found a home in the 2 spot, especially with Seibert taking over that leadoff role. He'll look at a first pitch strike that hit the outside corner for strike 1, followed up with a fastball by Tenza. Same spot, just a little bit wider, and it's 1-1.
Luke Thomas, for those who do not know, he has been one of the top hitters for the Tigers for years now, right? So having him in the 2-hole to potentially get some more RBI opportunities, good changeup right there from Tenza to get Luke Thomas to swing right over it, right? But to give him a chance to get some RBI opportunities with Ben Seibert hitting really good in the 1 spot, that is why the move has been made, and he's been hitting really good this season as well.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Thomas. Thomas puts a charge into this one, but straight away into center field. And the center fielder, Aiden Howard, doesn't have to move. He'll make the catch for out number 2, and that'll bring up Rocco Royer.
You see Tenza being really, really efficient right now, getting the 2 strikes early in both counts, doing a good job getting 2 outs quickly. Now Rocco Royer looks to make something happen with 2 outs. And for anyone who hasn't been watching the Wittenberg Tigers, any DePauw fans, big thing for this Tigers offense has been the extra base hits, the slugging percentage. This is a team who, through 36 games, I believe they have played now, they have 36 home runs, right? So this is a team who hits the long ball at a really good rate, hits a lot of extra base hits, so they can explode at any moment.
Royer late on the fastball, quickly behind now, 0-2.
Tenza being really efficient once again, getting to another 0-2 count really quickly.
Royer stands in, 0-2. Tenza kicks and deals with 2 outs in the inning, and he spiked a pitch in the dirt, 1-2. I know that there's such things called as a waste pitch, especially if you're up in the count, but maybe not the definition of a true waste pitch you want to be throwing. It bounced about 5 feet in front of the plate, follows it up with a slider, and that one's knocked foul down the right field line. 1-2 again on Rocco Royer. Royer stands in, a .383 hitter this season, 4 home runs, 25 knocked in.
This DePauw pitching staff has been very good this year, a 5-team ERA. As we said, they have some top pitchers on their team as well.
1-2, breaking ball, fouled off down the right field line, will get out of play as it rattles down in the pavilion down the right field line. 1-2 again on Rocco Royer.
But some top pitchers on this team, including a guy who might be an All-American, probably will win the NCAC Pitcher of the Year. And as a team defensively, they're fielding .970 as a team.
1-2, another breaker. Breaks too far outside on the curveball, and it's even at 2.
Fielding .970 as a team, good pitching, right? So we're going to play clean baseball. Wittenberg Tigers have to do the same. Battle the Tigers today, so got to make sure we emphasize that.
2-2. Changeup, got the inside corner, and a backwards K for Rocco Royer. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. We head to the top of the second. 1-0 the DePauw Tigers leading Wittenberg. And we'll be back on Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. Ty Suker will lead things off here for DePauw, followed by Aiden Howard and Max Bond. And fastball got the outside corner for strike one. Mikey Eichhoff takes the rubber again here for inning number 2 after allowing 1 in the first. Looking for a scoreless after the Wittenberg Tigers went in 1-2-3. Nice changeup. Got him swinging early, and it's 0-2 on Ty Suker, the designated hitter.
Suker, another senior in this lineup, as we said, the mixture of youth and experience.
0-2, Eichhoff. Another changeup. Got him swinging. Swing and a miss. And the leadoff man is sat down on 3 straight strikes thrown by Mikey Eichhoff. Next up will be Aiden Howard.
Aiden Howard, he has played in 15 games this year, started in 13, hitting .324 in his limited appearances so far for the sophomore. As Eichhoff gets ahead right there with the fastball in the inner half.
He only has 37 registered at-bats on the year. He has no home runs and 5 knocked in. Eichhoff looks in, gets a sign. Slider breaks way too far outside, and it's 1-1. Chance at an immaculate inning has come to an end. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eichhoff comes in, gets his sign, comes set, only works out of the stretch, and another slider. Nice front door slider there. Got him looking. Buckled Howard, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Aiden Howard. Pitch in the dirt. Plunked there by Griskovich, and it's 2-2 on the center fielder. Two and two. Eichhoff to the plate. Dribbler out to McCauley. Weird hop. McCauley plays it. Rifles across the diamond to Rodriguez. And the second out is recorded. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Max. Max who? Well, that's Max Bond, the shortstop.
Max Bond, the other freshman in this lineup. The freshman shortstop, as you said, so another young guy that this team really trusts. Got to be a guy that you trust to play shortstop, right? And the freshman has stepped right in and done that for this team.
Max Bond will stand in. Got the inside part of the plate for strike one. The shortstop, who has been terrific in the field this season, he's hitting .245. He has 1 home run, 18 RBIs on the season. Got him on the inside, jammed him a bit. Slow roller out to Thomas. Thomas fires across to Rodriguez. The side is retired. DePauw then goes 1-2-3. We're going to the home half of the second. DePauw leads Wittenberg by a score of 1-0. Middle of the order, due up for Wittenberg as Connor O'Malley, right fielder, will stand into the batter's box, hitting .362 this season. 6 home runs, he has 22 knocked in. A slugging percentage of .562 for Connor O'Malley. Fastball gets the bottom half of the zone for strike number 1. Shift is on for DePauw, leaving the left field line and where the third baseman usually plays wide open. As O'Malley tried going that way, but he popped it up, drifting back to the backstop. Here comes the catcher, Herbeck. Herbeck falling back, dropped it, but then catches it on the ricochet. And oh my goodness, what an incredible play there, but he throws the ball away into left field. That's probably the only bad thing he did there. It was a tremendous play by Herbeck. Herbeck slid, lost it for a second, was able then to catch it barehanded after it fell out of his mitt to register the out. And now, again, we've mentioned this on this broadcast. We're the Tiger Sports Network. We can be a little bit biased to Wittenberg because we are employed by Wittenberg. But sometimes you just got to tip the cap and say, game will recognize game.
That was, I don't even know if we got that on camera. It was so far deep into the backstop, and we know how big the foul territory is here at Carlton-Davidson. I was going to say Herbeck, the sophomore, just based off his throwdowns in between innings, a very good defensive catcher, you would assume, and that shows it right there. That was one heck of a play.
Snoop Dogg plays in Carlton-Davidson Stadium. That means Alex Nemunitis stands in. And he's quickly behind 0-2 as that one's fouled back to the backstop. 387 hitter, 6 home runs, 35 knocked in. Tied for first for Wittenberg when it comes to home runs with 6. He's tied with Xander Rodriguez, who stands on deck, and Connor O'Malley. Pops this one up down the first base line and will drift out of play, and it'll remain 0-2.
Alex Nemunitis has been fantastic this year, his first year as an everyday starter. As you said, a guy with 6 home runs, OPS well over 1,000. Very good season for Alex Nemunitis.
Tenza on the mound, kicks, deals up in the count 0-2. Curveball blasted into the alley out in right center field, and it's going to be extra bases. Nemunitis takes a turn from first. He'll head to second. It gets lodged underneath the fence. It is an automatic double for Nemunitis, and actually Nemunitis had an easy route to second. He was taking a trot to third. Now the umpires will call him back. Manager Brian McGee asking for clarification, and it will not be an advancement. Alex Nemunitis will stop at second. It's an automatic double, and that'll bring up the true freshman Xander Rodriguez with 1 away, and Nemunitis on the pond at second base.
Sometimes when a ball is a ground rule double goes under the lodge, under the fence, you're told just to keep on going and just go all the way home just in case the umpire goes out there and checks. And if it's not fully lodged underneath the fence, the home run is granted, right? Obviously, the umpire saw that the ball completely went under the fence all the way through, so there was no need to go out and check.
Here comes Xander Rodriguez, true freshman who is not necessarily playing like a freshman this season. Looks at a first pitch in the dirt and is 1-0.
Sometimes to notice how good of a hitter or a pure hitter someone is checking their on-base percentage versus their average, right? As we'll get into that right there as that ball is fouled off to the left side, right? Xander Rodriguez is hitting 361, which is not low by any means. I don't mean to say that, right? But Alex Nemunitis, for example, he's hitting 387. His on-base percentage is 473. 2 really high numbers. Xander Rodriguez is hitting 20 points lower in average. His on-base percentage is 500, right? So this is a guy who has really good at-bats, gets on base by any means possible, has 33 walks to only 14 strikeouts so far in his freshman campaign. That is unreal production from Xander Rodriguez in his freshman season.
He's behind 1-2. Nemunitis stands at second with 1 away in the bottom of the second. DePauw leads 1-0. Tenza comes to the plate inside, and it's 2-2.
One thing that Xander Rodriguez does not do is stand in there and get hit by a pitch. He's always going to look to dance out of the way and still look to swing. Something that I say he should stand in there and get more free bases like that, but he likes to hit, so let's see what he does right here.
2-2. This one slapped off the pitcher, and it's going to be trouble. Rodriguez cruises into first. It hit off the rubber, and DePauw wasn't able to corral it, and now Wittenberg's got some trouble brewing with runners on the corners and 1 away, and that'll bring up the DH, Matt Moore.
That'll be another single, another hit for the freshman in his freshman campaign. And now Matt Moore, a guy with plenty of RBIs in his career, sitting 4th all-time in program history in RBIs, has another RBI opportunity right here with a guy on third base.
Matt Moore had put together a great doubleheader against Denison. He's certainly come to life here in the second half of this season. As Matt Moore will stand in. First pitch misses inside. Take it for ball 1. A 336 average, 3 home runs, 37 RBIs for Matt Moore on the season. That is second for Wittenberg, right behind Xander Rodriguez. He stands at first. Nemunitis stands at third. They'll check Rodriguez back to first. He's back safely.
Xander looks to have jammed his finger maybe a little bit into the base. just wiping it off. Looks to be all right. He'll probably stay out there. Just needs a second. But as I said, Matt Moore, 4th all-time, I believe, in program history when it comes to career RBIs. He has 119, looking for his 120th career RBI in this at-bat right here.
2 on with 1 out. They're on the corners. Here's a pitch from Tenza. Breaking ball right down the middle for strike 1, and then we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
If you're Matt Moore, you're looking to do one thing, and that's drive a ball in the air into the outfield for at least a sac fly, right? Don't hit a ball on the ground here for a double play. So Matt Moore looking to drive a ball in the air into the outfield.
1-1. The pitch from Tenza. This one hit pretty well out into right center field. It's into the alley. Nemunitis will score with ease. Here comes Rodriguez. The windmill is on. Rodriguez chugging for home. The throw to the plate is not going to be in time. Rodriguez scores from first. Hits a base-clearing double from Matt Moore, who's standing at second base. And the Wittenberg Tigers have taken a 2-1 advantage in the bottom of the second.
Well, I said he was looking for RBI number 120. There's RBI number 120 and 121. For the career of Matt Moore with another double to his total as well. Matt Moore doing what he's been doing his whole career. And that 121st career RBI for Matt Moore moves him to 3rd all-time in program history. Congratulations to Matt Moore doing it once again. 2 big RBIs to take the lead here in the bottom of the second inning.
Got a hold of one, drilled it out to the fence in right center field in the alley. Here comes the catcher, Parker Griskovich. First pitch curveball, got the inner third of the plate for strike 1. And it's 0-1 now. Tenza, who put up a 1-2-3 inning in the first, has found himself in some trouble here in the second. Wittenberg has taken a 2-1 lead. Still early in it. Fastball misses low, and it's 1-1.
Parker Griskovich, the senior catcher, hitting .344 on the season, a .516 slugging percentage, .435 on base. Has been fantastic offensively and, of course, defensively, as Parker Griskovich is always working back there as the catcher for the Tigers.
Griskovich fouls this one back to the backstop. He's behind 1-2.
Always give a shout-out to our catchers each game for the work that they put in. We saw the amazing play that Herbeck made earlier, and now Parker Griskovich up to the plate. So shout-out to all of our catchers.
Thank you, Dylan. We do appreciate it. Still waiting on a few steak dinners. 1-2 here on Griskovich. The pitch, change-up, misses high, and it's 2-2.
There is that fastball elevated again. You see them going to the elevated fastball ahead in the count a decent amount. You got Ben Seibert to strike out on that pitch earlier in the game. First at bat for the Tigers.
2-2 on Griskovich. Tenza will come to the plate. Just missed outside, and it's 3-2.
And then after the fastball up, you see him go to the breaking ball. They look like the slider away right there, right? So there's the sequencing you're starting to see a little bit. You're starting to see a pattern. Let's see if they continue with that or they look to mix it up a little bit.
Full count on the catcher, Parker Griskovich. Breaking ball. This one hit pretty well out into right center field. Will the wind take it? It's going back. It's off the wall. Griskovich turns and burns. He's up to second. Matt Moore scores from second. It's an RBI double. Parker Griskovich going crazy out there on second base. And the Tigers played another run to make it 3-1.
Another double right there, back-to-back. Another one for Parker Griskovich. As we said, a guy who's been fantastic in his career continues that right there with that double. Right to right center, just like Matt Moore's, right? You see the Tigers now adjusting after that first inning. That Tenza had a really good inning. Starting to understand, all right, he's going to go breaking stuff. He's going to look to go outer half, right? Taking advantage of that. This is a team, this Tigers team, you don't hit .347 with a .507 slugging percentage, .434 on base on accident, right? This is a very good hitting team. This is a team that's going to spray it all over the yard, go backside, be able to pull the ball, hit it over the fence, or off the fence like Parker Griskovich did just right there. And now the Tigers are really rolling with their third run of this inning, and another very good hitter coming up right here in James McCulley.
James McCulley, the number 9 batter for Wittenberg, before they flip it back to Ben Seibert at the top of the order. Back-to-back doubles, Matt Moore with the 2 RBI double. And then Parker Griskovich with an RBI double. Tigers take a 3-1 advantage here after the first 4 batters of the game were retired for Wittenberg.
A couple of the reasons for the doubles and stuff has been with 2 strikes or being ahead in the count, one to Alex Munice to right center. That was a 2-strike count. He just left a slider up in the zone right there. 2-strike count. He leaves a breaking ball up in the zone. Matt Moore gets a breaking ball up in the zone, hits it the other way, right? So he just needs to look to bury those pitches a little bit more. You can hang breakers to this team. This team hits way too well to make mistake pitches like that.
McCulley, tardy on the fastball, fouls it out down the first base line. And it's 0-1 here on the shortstop, James McCulley. Griskovich will get his lead off second base. Here's the pitch from Tenza. Check swing. Doesn't matter. It was down the middle for strike number 2.
As we see right there, gets ahead 0-2 once again. He's been doing good at getting ahead in the count. He just needs to execute these pitches a little bit better. He's gone to the fastball up in the zone where he's been throwing for balls, but sometimes the breaking balls you have to throw for balls as well down in the zone.
0-2 with 1 out. Breaking ball. This one looped into center field. Has too much carry. The center fielder is right there to make the play. Howard with a second put out of the game for out number 2. And we're flipped back to the top of the order now to Ben Seibert, who's 0 for 1. He struck out his last time up.
See, now that one wasn't necessarily buried, but it was a much better spot, low and away in the zone. James McCulley did a good job hitting a line drive out to center field, just right at the center fielder, right? But just commanding your pitches a little bit better when you're ahead in the counts, right? That's going to make a big difference for Tenza and this DePauw Tigers team.
Wittenberg flips back to the top of the order to Seibert. He had that full count elevated fastball that he tomahawked through. Sure he'd like another at-bat. Get that bad taste out of his mouth as he'll look at a first pitch fastball, misses way inside. It's 1-0.
Ben Seibert rocking the elbow guard today as he got hit in the elbow, and that Denison series got a pretty good bump. So he's got the elbow guard this time for a little bit of added protection.
Seibert usually wears that elbow guard. The one day he didn't wear it is when he gets hit in the elbow.
So I asked him about it because I remember in the years past him wearing it, right? And I said, "What? Don't you always wear an elbow guard?" He goes, "I haven't been wearing it this year." Well, as you see, he's wearing it right back again. Made sure he got one. Obviously, you never want to get hit in the elbow. Not a fun experience.
Funny bone isn't necessarily funny.
Exactly.
Pumped up. Right side of the infield. Going to be tough with the sun. First baseman using his glove to shield the sun. And we'll make the grab for out number 3. Damage done. Tigers get 3 off of 3 doubles and 4 hits. We're heading now to the top of the 3rd. You're watching the Tiger Sports Network powered by TKDS. Top of the order, 2 up for DePauw. 1-2-3, Macon, who drew that leadoff walk on 6 pitches, will stand into the batter's box to face Eichhoff for the second time. Tigers get 3 in the bottom half of the second. Eichhoff starts off this at-bat with a fastball that's fouled back and out of play. 0-1.
We talked about the importance of the games today in the NCAC for seeding purposes, right? A lot of big games when it comes down to the final NCAC tournament seedings, including this one. Right, but we're going to hop into some of the other games as well as Macon hits a single to the left side, getting on for the second time here today as we talked about how good of a leadoff hitter Macon has been for the DePauw Tigers over his career, right? But going into it, that 4 seed, for example, right? Kenyon in the 4 seed right now. It looks like they're going to win 9-2 over Hiram in game number 1. Owu versus Wabash, the teams that are sitting at 5 and 6. Wabash won game number 1 6-5 in a very good game, right? So now Wabash is right there a game behind with Kenyon battling for that 4 seed, right? So a lot of interesting action. Denison will be playing Oberlin today at 3 o'clock is the first game for that ball game, right? So a lot of action going on. We're going to make sure we keep you guys updated.
Smoked into the air, right center field, going back, looking up. It's going to drop into the alley, and it's going to be trouble as Florida got a hold of this one. He tripped coming out of the batter's box. Here comes the relay, the throw to the plate. Griskovich slaps the tag. It is late. No, they got him. DePauw is trying to say that he dropped the ball, and now the umpire will change the call. The umpire, from his point of view, must have not seen that Griskovich dropped the ball. The ball was dropped, so Macon will score all the way from first. DePauw will plate a run to make it 3-2, and it is a double off the bat of Lewis Florida. He'll get an RBI double, and it makes it a 3-2 ball game. Here comes Glimklo to the plate.
Griskovich just trying to apply that quick tag right there. Obviously, with Macon coming in with his speed, had to be bang, bang, just pops out of the glove. And there's a big run right there for the Tigers answering back, the DePauw Tigers.
Glimko pops this one up, right side of the infield. Thomas trying to use his hand to shield the sun, will make the play for a big out number one.
Great job by Lou Thomas battling the sun. At Carlton-Davidson Stadium, the sun to the right side of the field can be pretty nasty. Lou Thomas doing a great job battling it, getting that first big out right here. As the Tigers, now Mikey Eichel gets that first out. Tigers seeing a little bit of action, maybe going down the bullpen just in case, if necessary.
Here comes Grady Johnson, the third baseman. Eichhoff with a slider on the first pitch. Broke and got the outside corner for strike one. Johnson was hit by a pitch his last time up. The freshman who bats cleanup, who coming into this game and still hitting .399 on the season. An RBI opportunity for him. Slider left downstairs in the dirt, dug out by Griskovich. It's even at one.
Great block right there from Griskovich to not allow that guy to move to third base with less than 2 outs.
1 ball and 1 strike on Grady Johnson. Florida gets his lead off of second after that RBI double. Pitch. Got the upper half of the zone, and it's 1-2.
We've seen a lot of the extra base hits in this game so far be hitting that right center field gap, right? So a lot of very good pieces of hitting, going backside, able to find that right center field gap.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Grady Johnson. Here's the pitch, goes the other way with it, lifts it up, and it will drop. Rocco Royer will play it on the bounce, throws quickly to third. Nemunitis will take it out on the short hop. And the ball just did not carry enough. In fact, the wind died it down, and it's going to be a looping single with 1 out for Grady Johnson. That'll increase his batting average up over 400. And here comes Herbeck, who had that long battle in his first at-bat and got the RBI single.
The sophomore, the long batter in that first at-bat that got the first RBI of the day. Herbeck, very good at-bat. We saw him make a big play, the catcher as well, in that last inning, right? So a very good young player here, following the very good young player in Johnson at first base.
Changeup thrown by Eichhoff, fouled straight back to the backstop. 0-1. Herbeck was down 0-2, and he just kept battling and battling and battling. Worked it back to a full count, found a couple of pitches off, and then smoked one between the 5-6 hole to get DePauw's first run back in the first inning. He's got another opportunity with runners on the corners. This time he pops it up. Will Rodriguez or Griskovich have room? He will not. It hits the roof down the right field line. But Eichhoff quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Wittenberg leads 3-2 in the top of the third.
Wittenberg Tigers are the first team to have some action going down the bullpen, as it looks to be Nate Floyd out there for the Wittenberg Tigers, just in case.
0-2, Eichhoff leaves it way upstairs, makes Griskovich jump out of his shoes. It's 1-2. Nate Floyd has started some games this season, so he's got the stamina to carry Wittenberg deep into this game. 1-2, changeup, fouled straight back to the backstop, and it will remain 1-2.
This is the ball team. This is a team with 36 stolen bases on the year, right? So this is the team that is afraid to steal a bag, a little bit over a stolen base a game.
Eichhoff to the plate, slider, hit the other way, down the right field line, and foul into the DePauw bullpen.
This is looking pretty eerily similar to Herbeck's last
Very
at-bat.
similar.
Just not going away, staying alive, doing a very good job, keeping this at-bat going.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Tigers lead 3-2. Smoked on the ground into left field. It's a base hit, and this game is tied.
Talk about very similar. Another Line drive, short ground ball single in that 5-6 hole for another RBI, another great at bat for Herbeck. That actually came off the bat, got the exit velo on that one at 102, right? So that ball was absolutely rocketed for another RBI for Herbeck, who's having himself a very good day so far.
Herbeck back-to-back singles through that 5-6 hole. And DePauw now in a situation where they have 2 on with 1 out, runners on first and second. They've just tied the game up at 3 apiece, and DePauw with that hit has recorded their 5th hit. We'll have a mound visit just from Wittenberg. No coach will make their way out of the dugout.
Parker Riskovich doing a good job calling that time, getting everyone up, just calm everyone down a little bit, calm down his pitcher. We talked about it for Tenza, for DePauw. We saw some of the issues being with 2 strikes, not getting pitches down the zone, not executing good pitches, getting those put-away pitches. Pretty similar thing for Eichhoff right now. Just has to execute those pitches ahead in the count, not give hitters too good of pitches to hit.
New at-bat, fouled off down the left field line. Might have gone all the way into the parking lot. Hopefully no windows are broken out there. As continuing on, here comes Carter Knoll. Knoll flew out to Rocco Royer his last time up. That was to end the away half of the first. No balls and 1 strike, 1 put away here in the top of the third. 3-3 ball game. DePauw has 2 runners on. The pitch to Knoll. Nice slider. Got the bottom third of the zone, and it's 0-2. Eichhoff quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Got ahead again, 0-2. Let's see if he can execute a good 2-strike pitch ahead in the count.
0-2, the payoff kick, steals, delivers, smoked into right center field, and it's going to be trouble. It's going to roll right before the wall. Connor O'Malley will cut it off, scoring from second will be Grady Johnson. Grady Johnson will score a 3-run inning for DePauw here in the top half of the third, and they have opened it up now to a 4-3 lead.
As we see again right there, 0-2, just a pitch that had too much of the zone, as now Coach McGee will make a mound visit. We'll see if he will be bringing in Nate Floyd, as we see another ball hit to that right center field gap, a good piece of hitting from Knoll. Knoll is a junior. He has played in 2 seasons so far. Last season he started in 38 games, hit .318, a guy with 26 RBIs last year, right? So a very capable hitter in Carter Knoll. As that will do it for Mikey Eichhoff's days, we will see Nate Floyd try to go long in relief right here.
Eichhoff will go 2 1/3. Here comes Nate Floyd. It's a Tiger call to the bullpen. He'll enter with runners on the corners at 1 out in a game where Wittenberg now trails 4-3. Ty Suker will stand in. New pitcher for the Wittenberg Tigers. Nate Floyd takes over on the mound. 9.30 ERA. He's pitched through 20 and a third this season. 286 opponent's batting average against him. He'll come in a tricky situation with runners on the corners and one out. And a first pitch fastball nips the inside part of the plate for strike one.
Floyd, obviously 9.30 ERA this season, but this is a guy with 28 career appearances, 9 wins, 17 games started. Just hasn't really found his groove completely this season so far. But this is a guy that the Tigers trust in a moment like this. As last season he had a 4.86 ERA and 50 innings pitched, only walked 14 guys, struck out 38. This season his K per 9 is 11.07, but 17 walks in 20 and a third innings. More walks this year in 20 innings than he did last year in 50 innings, right? So just need to command the zone a little bit better this season.
1 ball and 1 strike. This one dribbled down the third base side. And it's foul. 1-2 here on Suker. Suker was a strikeout victim his last time up. He was the first down in the top half of the second. DePauw has struck for 3 and has answered back Wittenberg's 3 that they got in the bottom half of the second. And a chance to do more with 2 on and 1 out. And on the corners, here's a pitch, slider, fouled back and out of play. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But as I said, this is still a guy that the Tigers trust a lot, right? This is a guy that also, if you can get him rolling by the NCAC tournament, which is coming up soon, would be huge for the Tigers this season. This is a guy with 90 career innings, so this is a guy who, if he can get it going today, would be huge for the Tigers.
1-2 fastball left outside, evens it up at 2. And runners on the corners with 1 out, and we're in the top of the third. 4-3, DePauw leads after a 3-run inning. We'll get you Mikey Eichhoff's final stat line momentarily once we know the fate of these 2 runners on base, as they are still Eichhoff's responsibility. This one blasted down the right field line, heading in foul. Line drive hit by Suker, but just got a little bit behind it, pushes it foul, count stays, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tigers still just looking to execute those 2-strike pitches, get those put-away pitches right now. Just haven't found them yet so far. See if Nate can execute it right now. He's a guy who we know has very good strikeout capabilities, 25 strikeouts in 20 and a third innings.
2-2. Floyd comes set, looks in, gets a sign. Slider, this one hit pretty well the other way into right center field. O'Malley tracks it down into the alley. Tagging up and scoring from third, but the throw back to first is in time. It's a double play.
Connor O'Malley, such a good play, knowing that there's no chance of preventing that run from scoring from home on a tag. Doesn't even look to cut it off to the second baseman. Understood, saw how far off the guy was off from first base. And the guy from first base didn't do a bad job. Right there, you're looking at the balls in the gap to probably score. So he's getting off. But you can't underestimate the arm of Connor O'Malley in right field. He has an absolute cannon, and he shows it off right there for a huge double play. But the run will score, though, because he did come in and score. And it doesn't count as a force with the tag up. They will say that the run does come across the score. But regardless, a fantastic play by Connor O'Malley right there to get that double play.
So Connor O'Malley chased it down into the alley, caught it, came up firing, as Noel thought that it was all the way down. Not that it would have been down. He had a huge lead and a huge jump start already at second, and O'Malley with a rifle of an arm was able to throw it all the way back to first and double up Noel. The inning is over, although DePauw does still get the run on the sacrifice fly. We're going to the bottom of the third. DePauw gets 4. 5-3 the score on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. Along top half of the third, DePauw got 4 runs. They take a 2-run lead. Heart of the order duo for the Tigers, 2, 3, 4. Luke Thomas will lead things off, followed by Rucker Royer. And then Connor O'Malley, who had that great heads-up play to end the top half of the inning. Luke Thomas will stand in, looks at a first pitch curveball, backdoor breaker in there for strike number 1. Thomas, a flyout victim to the center fielder, Aiden Howard, his last time up. Tenza kicks, nails, follows the curveball up with a fastball just off the edge of the plate, evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Luke Thomas. Tenza kicks, steals, breaking ball, another backdoor breaker. Got the outer third of the plate, and it's 1-2 on Thomas.
Good takes from LT right there. Not really much you can do with those pitches. Very good backdoor curveballs from Tenza.
Tenza working with some tempo. Fastball slapped on the ground to short. Picked up, throws across the diamond. Thomas with some speed will not be able to beat the throw. It is in time, and the leadoff man is retired. Nice play there by Max Bond. And Rucker Royer, who struck out looking his last time up, back in for another go.
Sometimes as a hitter, you don't really get a good pitch to hit. And right there, LT just didn't really get a good pitch to hit. Very good sequence right there from Tenza to get out number 1.
So Rucker Royer will stand into the dish. And a breaking ball in there for strike 1. That's something that Tenza did not have working for him back in the first couple of innings. Sometimes pitchers will go into the dugout, and although they're not necessarily throwing, they're working on their grip. As this one runs inside and will nip the bat of Rucker Royer, who's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
We see Tenza working backwards now, right? We said he was not getting that curveball down in the zone for swing and miss opportunities. So now he gets to 0-2 again and then goes fastball away once again, right? Obviously, that pitch was out. You're going to hear the moans and groans from the DePauw fans, right? That pitch was outside as he wanted to be, right? You want to throw a pitch off away. If the umpire gives you the strike, awesome.
1-2 on Royer. This one slapped the other way into right center field, going back to the just shy of the track, and the right fielder will make the play. That's Glimko. Round number 2, the inning will continue for Connor O'Malley. Going back to Tenza, sometimes pitchers, they head into the dugout, and although they're not necessarily throwing, they're working on some of their pitch grips. They're trying to see what is comfortable. They're trying to go through motions in the dugout to get something working. And it was very obvious that Tenza's curveball was not working the first 2 innings of this game. But it looks like a brand new pitch here in inning number 3.
I wouldn't even say it's. I think it's more so just the fact of when he's using it now, right? Just in those 2 at-bats right there, he got to 2 strikes and did not go to the curveball, right? Earlier in the game, he was going fastball early in the count, right? Just like a normal pitcher normally would right there. You see the changeup right there, 1-0, right? He's working more backwards now, right? And these Tigers hitters are taking those pitches, and now he's getting ahead in the count, and then going a fastball 0-2 when you get ahead of a count like that is much more effective than getting ahead with the fastball early on, and then a hitter almost assuming a curveball is coming, and the Tigers took advantage with multiple doubles. Right now he's working backwards, and it's working for him for the first 2 outs of this inning.
2-1 on O'Malley. Curveball slapped the other way. Down the left field line. It's fair. They have the shift on. It could be trouble as it rolls into foul territory. Connor O'Malley takes the turn and burn. He'll head first to second, and it is a 2-out double off the bat of the right fielder, Connor O'Malley. And the Tigers have some life now for Alex Nemunitis, who doubled his last time up.
If you're going to talk about a guy who's going to pick up on those trends, though, it's a guy like Connor O'Malley. He understands that they're pitching backwards, especially to him. He's the guy who's been in the middle of the order for years now, right? He knows he's going to see breaking balls early, right? 2-1, you're not going to challenge Connor O'Malley with a fastball. He sits back on the curveball, takes it the other way for a double, and now you have an RBI opportunity when it looked like you had nothing going.
And Nemunitis, first pitch swinging, flies it out into straightaway left field. Left fielder will have to drift over, play in the wind, will make the grab, and the side is retired. Inning over. DePauw leads 5-3. We're heading to the 4th here on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. 8-9-1 coming to the plate for the Tigers of DePauw. Aiden Howard will lead things off, followed by Max Bond, and then back to the top of the order for Cam Macon. As Nate Floyd was able to help the Tigers get out of a jam, one of those runs did score. Remember, it was that double play fly ball to end the away half of the third. Fastball misses low, taken for ball one.
Aiden Howard, as we said, only 15 games played in this year, 13 starts. It looks like early on in the season, he was starting. It looks like he was starting early on. He has a double in the right center right here, at least a double. Tigers have to get it in quick with the good speed of Howard.
Howard takes the turn from first. He'll head all the way up to second. It's a leadoff double off the bat of Aiden Howard. And DePauw picking up right where they left off. They have found a home hitting in that gap between center field and right field. In that right center field gap, they have found a home delivering balls out that way and out that direction. And here comes Max Bond to the batter's box. With one on, the leadoff man on after Howard smacked that double. Floyd will now have to work from the stretch.
We'll see now if the 9-hole hitter, right, with a guy on second base, if they maybe look to bunt him over to third base with the top of the order to follow, or if they let him swing away, right? But going back to Howard, right, started on early on in the season, was starting in their first games, their first couple games of the year. Then he didn't play for a month. Don't know if that was injury-riddled or what that might have been, but ever since about the beginning of this month of April, he has been in that lineup every day, starting again, right? And this is a guy who last season as well, he played in 30 games and started in 28. So this is the guy that in Aiden Howard that they trust, and you saw right there with the leadoff double.
Fastball right down Broadway, and it's 1-1. On the number 9 batter, that's Max Bond. 1-1 from Floyd. Sidesteps to the plate, tried to drop a bunt down. He offered, didn't pull back, and it's 1-2.
As we saw right there, there was the bunt attempt. Bunt for a hit attempt, right, which is always a good idea, maybe with the guy in second, no outs, because if you get the bunt for a hit down, you have first and third with no outs. And if not, you still get the sack bunt anyways. Unfortunately, bunts right through that one for strike number 2.
1-2, Floyd way up in the count. Floyd, a long pause on the rubber, now sidesteps to the plate. Slider got him looking, punches him out. That's a strikeout there for Max Bond. We flip back to the top of the order to Cam Macon, who is 1 for 1 today. He's reached both times he's stood into the batter's box.
Great pitch right there from Nate Floyd, the over-the-top curveball, getting Bond the strikeout looking, and that's a big out number 1 now at the top of the order to follow.
Macon walked his first time up, slapped a single his last time up. And an RBI opportunity here. As a slider didn't break well enough, Macon will take first base. Nate Floyd trying to say that he leaned in. He tried to put his elbow in. Floyd will not get the call. And we'll have runners on first and second with 1 out. The lineup continuing. Here comes Luis Florida.
Definitely did chicken winged it a little bit, right? Stuck the elbow out a little bit, but I don't think it was enough into the zone, right? I think it was too much inside to where he's going to get that call. Macon now on for the 3rd time here today, getting on base once again.
Lineup now continuing to Florida. Florida, he hit that RBI double his last time up in the previous inning. Tips the outside corner, 0-1. We'll get you Mikey Eichhoff's numbers here in just a moment. No balls and 1 strike. Floyd comes set on the mound with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch to Florida, way outside, and it's 1-1. Mikey Eichhoff, 2 1/3. He allowed 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 strikeout. Total pitch count was 69.
You see 2 good base runners on base now for DePauw, right? 2 guys with some pretty good speed. You see Howard dancing a little bit out there on some of the pitches. Might maybe see a double steal attempt. It's going to be harder, though, with the lefty up to hit.
1-1. This one, fly ball out into left field. Rocco Royer drifts over to his right, makes the grab along the foul line. We're out number 2. That'll bring up Glimko.
Glimko now, right? This is the situation we were talking about. This is a guy who his average isn't as high as you might want, right? He has struck out a pretty good rate, right? But this is the situation right here, right? Any chance for you to just get a home run with multiple guys on base with 2 outs, you will take that. And this is a guy that has plenty of power to do it with 23 career home runs.
2 on, 2 out. The 3 batter, Danny Glimko, stands in. First pitch slider breaks way too far outside, and it's 1-0. on Glimco. So Glimco has the power. Grady Johnson stands in the on-deck circle, who's hitting over 400 this season. So he's got the average. They're going to try to attack Glimco. 1-0. Floyd will step off the rubber, take a moment, and now he's back on.
Good job right there. Just felt a little uncomfortable with the way that Howard's dancing back there. Readjust himself now.
Aiden Howard had that leadoff double. Fastball got the inside part of the zone for strike one. We're even at one. Howard hit that leadoff double. And we saw Cam Macon get hit by a pitch in his elbow. That's how both runners have got on. And we have 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Floyd looks Macon back. This one slapped into left field right at Rocco Royer, who makes the snag for out number 3. The side is retired. DePauw strands 2. We're going to the home half of the 4th. DePauw leads 5-3 over Wittenberg. Xander Rodriguez will get things going in the home half of the 4th. DePauw leads 5-3 after a 4-run third inning. Wittenberg struck for all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the 2nd. Nathaniel Tenza has started to locate that curveball, and as Dylan has mentioned, has started to work the counts backwards. That time he will go a fastball, but it's low and inside for ball 1. 1-0 now on Rodriguez. Tenza follows it up with the curveball. I got the inner third of the plate. Nice backdoor curveball there by Tenza. Evens it up at 1 apiece.
Good pitch right there in the inner half to get the count back at even at 1-1.
1-1. Tenza working with some tempo. Fastball painted on the outside corner. Fly ball out to left field. And Luis Florida will drift over to his left to make the grab. Round number 1, the inning will continue with Matt Moore. Matt Moore had that 2-run RBI double back in the 3rd to plate the first couple of runs for Wittenberg. Then it was followed up with a Parker Griskovich double to get the 3rd run in for Wittenberg. That was back all in inning number 2. Tenza to the plate, fastball down Broadway for strike 1. 0-1 on Matt Moore. And Dylan, we've talked about Matt Moore. He has certainly come to life over the second half of the season. Curveball slapped the other way into right center field. It's going to drop. Center fielder will come over. We'll cut it off before it gets all the way into the alley. So Matt Moore will retreat back into first. It's a 1-out single off the bat of Matt Moore, make him 2 for 2 on the day.
So obviously you heard me talking about it, right? Matt Moore being one of the most experienced hitter, being the 5th-year hitter for the Tigers, right? He's probably going up there looking for breaking balls, seeing that he was throwing more backwards, right? And you saw he took a fastball that was right down the middle, towards the middle of the play, as you said, right? But as soon as he gets that curveball, he's right on it, perfect timing, and hits a perfect backside single to lead this thing off.
Griskovich is in. He'll look at a first pitch fastball and on the inner half of the plate for strike one.
Griskovich right there also taking a fastball on the inner half. Let's see if he's now looking to go find a breaking ball.
0-1, another fastball. Griskovich tardy on it. Quickly behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
And a great job by Tenza and the DePauw coaching staff, of course, of noticing that they might be sitting on breaking pitches a little bit more, right? As they then go to back-to-back fastballs right there. Let's see if they now maybe go to an elevated fastball as they've done ahead in the count before, as you see guys hitting a lot of the breaking stuff.
No balls and 2 strikes. Or check back Moore to first, just trying to keep him honest. Moore not the biggest of threats on the base paths.
That's a little bit too nice for Matt Moore. Not really much of a threat at all on the bases, as the Tigers really haven't been as a team this year.
0-2 on Griskovich. Another fastball fouled back.
And there was that fastball elevated right there, right? So now we've seen 3 straight fastballs going to the fastball elevated 0-2. Now you might see the curveball, but you really have to execute it here if you're Tenza. Can't leave it over the middle of the zone. This has to be a chase pitch if you're going to go to it. But he just hasn't been able to really bury that breaking ball yet.
No balls and 2 strikes on Griskovich. Another fastball. Griskovich goes the opposite way with it, and it'll hit off the pavilion down the right field line, foul.
And that's the other thing, right? Tenza, as we said, is not a guy with a lot of strikeouts. His fastball isn't like the fastest in the world, right? So the Tigers can sit on these other pitches and still just fight off these fastballs on the hands a little bit.
0-2.
There's
Changeup
yep.
just left outside, and it's 1-2.
So you see him now not going to that breaking pitch, not going to that breaking ball this whole at-bat, especially with 2 strikes, as he just hasn't been able to bury it, right? Let's see if we see it now, as that's the one pitch he hasn't thrown. We've seen the changeup and the fastball.
1-2 on Griskovich. Another fastball. This one slapped on the ground to second for 1. Over across the diamond. It's a double play. 6-4-3 double play. And that will end the home half of the 4th. 5-3. DePauw leads the Wittenberg Tigers. We're going to the 5th. Here on Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. I think your pardon, that last ground ball was hit out to short. It was a 6-4-3 double play to end the home half of the 4th. We flip over to the top half of the 5th. In middle of the order, coming up for DePauw, Grady Johnson will lead things off, followed by Hunter Herbeck and Carter Knoll, all 2 up in this inning. As Johnson, he's reached both times. He was hit by a pitch and then had a single his last time up. As we've talked about, Grady Johnson leads DePauw when it comes to batting average, hitting over 400 now after that single in his last at-bat. We'll stand into the batter's box to face Nate Floyd. Once again, fastball tardy on it, and it's 0-1.
Good pitch right there to open it up for Nate Floyd. Fastball on the outer half.
Floyd will follow up that fastball on the outer half with another fastball, this time working it towards the inner half. Slapped on the ground to second. Thomas picks it up, throws over to Rodriguez, and the leadoff man is sat down.
As you said, very good job changing locations right there. First the fastball on the other half, then getting it on the inner half right there to get him to ground out to second base, right to Luke Thomas, who makes the play for out number 1.
I'm going to bring up Herbeck. Herbeck has had a couple of wonderful at-bats here in this one. He is 2 for 2 with a pair of RBIs. Both of his hits have been between that 5-6 gap.
Thanks. I'm sure they don't love that.
1-0. His first pitch fastball missed down and in. Nate Floyd on the mound, comes back to the plate. Another fastball paints that outside corner. For strike one, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now on Hunter Herbeck, the catcher. He has played a terrific game defensively. And of course, we've already mentioned the 2 hits. 1-1. Fastball way outside the zone, 2-1. Gorgeous day here at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. The last home game for the Wittenberg Tigers for the 2024 season. It'll be later today in Game 2. Fouled off of Hunter Herbeck, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Weather moved in and out overnight. A lot of rain overnight and even throughout the morning, and it didn't get sunny until really right around first pitch.
Oh, yeah. It always gets sunny for baseball. That baseball weather knows it's got to get sunny for the Tigers for the last home game of the year. But going over the NCAC again, right, we talked about the importance of some of those games. The final score of some of those games, Wabash did win 6-5, moving them to 6-7. Kenyon did get the win over Hiram 10-2 in game number 1. So now they are a game ahead in that 4th seed, sitting at 7-6.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff from Floyd. The pitch, slider, popped him up. Drifting out to shallow center field. Running on, McCulley will drift back, and James McCulley has the catch for out number 2. First 2 batters retired here in the away half of the 5th. And that'll bring up Carter Knoll.
Good job by James McCulley taking charge to get that big out number 2, not letting that ball fall in no man's land. That's something that the Tigers have improved a lot on since the beginning of the season where they were struggling. Just better communication, more guys taking charge, going out and making the play no matter what.
Carter Knoll will stand in. Fastball left it way outside. Taken for ball 1. Carter Knoll flew out to Rocco Royer his first time up. Second time up, had that RBI single. 1-0 on Knoll. Fastball got the enter third for strike 1.
For those who don't know, the Tigers this season, 21-14 overall, but they started the season off 9-12, right? So this is a team who has completely flipped around their fortune this season as they are first place in the NCAC, as we've mentioned.
Gets the outside corner. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now on Knoll. Floyd comes set out on the mound. 1-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Knoll way downstairs. Taken low, and it's even at 2-2. Wittenberg, they had a point earlier on in their season where they were on a losing skid. They lost, 6 of 7, 7 of 8, something along those lines, and answered back with a 12-game winning streak before it was snapped. Swing and a miss. Got him on the backdoor curveball. Nate Floyd, he is firing up. 1-2-3 go DePauw. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. 5-3 DePauw on top of Wittenberg. 9 and then back to the top of the order for Wittenberg here in the bottom half of the 5th. 5-3, DePauw leads for a 4-run third inning. Wittenberg had a 3-run second inning. The other run from DePauw came in the top of the 1st. Curveball there right down the middle of the zone for strike 1. McCauley fly-out victim to the center fielder his last time up. 0-1. Here's the pitch from Tenza. Goes the other way with it. Hit pretty well on a line, but right at the right fielder. And standing there in his tracks, maybe had to track back a couple of feet, is Danny Glimko. And Glimko makes the catch. And the leadoff man retired for Wittenberg.
Looks like we will have a pinch hitter now as Tommy Chalicki looks to come into the game for Ben Seibert. I would assume that Luke Thomas will move to center field and Tommy Chalicki will then move to second base. But there could be more substitutions going on as well. But Tommy Chalicki will come in to pinch hit and stay in the leadoff hole for the rest of the game, hopefully.
So Tommy Chalicki will stand in. He's been a utility player this season for the Tigers. We've seen him on the mound. We've seen him in the outfield. We've seen him across the infield. We've seen him pitch hit. We've seen him DH. He does it all. 66 at-bats this season. He's hitting .333 with a home run, 11 RBIs, a .455 slugging percentage, and a .375 OBP. As he'll look at a first pitch curveball that drops in the zone for strike 1.
Could also see Tommy Chalicki, if he were to get on base, maybe they go to a pinch runner and then put someone else out in center field and keep LT at second base.
1-2. Misses just outside on the fastball. Evens it up and 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken the other way. It's down in right field for a hit. Chalicki takes a turn from first. No harm, but it's a 1-out single there off the bat. Pinch hit single for Tommy Chalicki. And that'll bring up Luke Thomas, the second baseman.
Coach McGee looks to be going to the home plate umpire, as I would assume they will be going to a change now.
Now the question on who?
It will be Cam Glenn. So Cam Glenn will go into pinch run for Tommy Chalicki. So that means Cam Glenn will probably go out to center field as well. Great job by Tommy Chalicki doing his job. Just needed a little bit of offense to kick in, right? Couple of zeros back-to-back for the Tigers, right? And now that Nate Floyd coming in and put up a couple of zeros on the board, you need something to get this offense rolling, and Tommy Chalicki just does just that right there.
This has been an offense that has come alive late in games, at least over the last couple of days. Non-existent offense on Sunday against Adrian. Adrian, a very good team. Cam Glenn with some speed on the base paths. Fastball misses low and away for ball 1 on Luke Thomas.
Cam Glenn, another guy who we've seen plenty of, has played in a lot of games in his freshman season as a starter. He has started in games. He has pinch hit, pinch ran, defensive substitutions, one of the best outfielders on this team.
They're going to check him back. Gladden back safely. Maybe a bit too close for comfort, but Gladden just able to beat the throw and the tag. As Tenza back out on the mound, working from the stretch. To Luke Thomas, who is 0 for 2 today. Fly-out victim his first time up and then grounded out to the shortstop last time.
The big thing for the Tigers, we talked about just Coach McGee looking to get someone to start the offense going. Before that hit right there by Tommy Chalicki, 1, 2, and 3 holes right now were all 0 for 2, right? So, and then all the hits are coming from everyone below, right? So just need a little bit of something to kickstart the offense. And now Luke Thomas is going to get his first hit of the ball game here with the guy on base.
They're checking Gladden back to first base again. 1 ball and 1 strike after Thomas fouls one back to the backstop.
As we said before also, this Wittenberg Tigers team, not that much of a base stealing threat this season. Only 18 through 35 games.
1-1 to Thomas. Inside. Looked at for ball 2, and it's 2-1 on Luke Thomas.
Just missed Luke Thomas, who we know is not afraid to take a hit by pitch, as he is the all-time program leader in hit by pitches with 30, I believe. Might be even more than 30. But a guy who will stand in there and try to take a free base.
2 balls and 1 strike. 1 on with 1 out. Runner goes. Pitch outside. It is caught a strike. The throw down. And Gladden was able to dive in and go a swim move over the tag. He's in there safely. Pitch was called a strike. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, but Gladden moves up 90 feet. He's in scoring position. A stolen base from the pinch runner, Cam Gladden.
That's a pure stolen base, too, because Good time to the plate by Tenza. Very good pop and release time by Herbrick behind the plate as the catcher got rid of it very quick. The throw was just a little bit offline, but it was a good catch and a good tag over. But it Cam Glenn with an amazing slide swim move to get in there safe and move a guy into scoring position with one out.
Runner in scoring position now for the Tigers with one away. Pitch was called a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the senior second baseman, Luke Thomas. Tenza comes set, comes to the plate. This one roped to first base, and a diving play by the first baseman down that right field line by Carter Knoll. Carter Knoll made a terrific play. Didn't hesitate, just dove, comes away with it, robs Luke Thomas from at least a single, an RBI at least, maybe even a possible double there, depending on how far that would have gotten down the line.
Yeah, it's probably an RBI double right there. That's a huge play. Thank Carter Knoll to get the second out of the inning. And now potentially stop the Tigers from getting something going, and it looked like they had something.
Rocco Royer, they jammed him a bit. Ground ball to the shortstop, and it's booted by Bond. Max Bond had to run up and get that one as a grass ate it alive, and he boots it. So it's going to be an E6. Rocco Royer is aboard with 2 gone, and the inning will continue now for Connor O'Malley with runners on the corners. So 2 on and 2 out, and Connor O'Malley represents the go-ahead run standing into the box here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, tough play right there coming up, having to make a play on the run. And then with Cam Glenn running right in front of him right there, just blocks his vision just enough as that ball bounces off the heel of the glove.
Connor O'Malley does have some power. 6 home runs this season. Fastball paints the outside corner for strike 1.
6 home runs this season, 17 in his career. There's a guy with also, Connor O'Malley is 5th in program history in career RBIs. So this is a guy who, another big RBI opportunity right here.
Trying to keep up with Matt Moore on that list. No balls and 1 strike on O'Malley. Fastball, elevated fastball, taken for ball 1. We're even at 1-1.
Connor O'Malley, as we talked about early in the year, was struggling early on this season, right? In the month of March, in his 67 at-bats, he had 269, 306 on base. He had only 4 walks to 10 strikeouts, right? And that was a big thing. Connor O'Malley's a guy who usually works the count and generates walks as well. In April so far, has really flipped it around, hitting 451, 547 on base, 627 slugging percentage.
1-1, Tenza to the plate. Fastball just missed the zone. Not by much, but he did miss, and it's 2-1 on Connor O'Malley.
And the big thing for Connor O'Malley in that time as well, 8 walks to 1 strikeout, right? He's really seeing the ball really good right now. And he looks to see another one right here.
2-1 on Wittenberg's right fielder. Topped it, dribbles it back to Tenza, flips it over to first, and the side is retired. Tigers, they strand 2 on the corners. We're going to the 6th. DePauw and the Tigers lead 5-3 over Wittenberg and their Tigers. Top of inning number 6 features Nate Floyd heading back out to the bump for the Wittenberg Tigers as a fastball misses downstairs and low to Ty Zucker. We'll say the bottom of the order coming up for DePauw, Zucker, Howard, and Bond. There's been a couple times where that bottom of the order has been able to flip it back to the top of the order. High and inside on the second fastball, 2-0.
Floyd looking to bounce back right here, get that first strike. Don't want to let a guy on for free to lead off an inning.
2 balls and no strikes. Floyd kicks, nails, delivers. Dribbler up the middle, bounces over Nate Floyd. Chalicki's there, fires across. Or I beg your pardon, that's Thomas. Thomas fires across and was able to make the play for out number 1.
Good job by Luke Thomas fielding it and getting rid of it quickly, using that arm strength, just beating him by a step for out number 1.
Thomas using that senior arm strength to fire across his body. Just got it there in the nick of time. For out number 1, here comes Aiden Howard to the batter's box. Fastball paints the outer half for strike number 1. Howard had that double to lead off the 4th inning, but then was stranded. Fastball misses just outside 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. On the center fielder, Aiden Howard. Floyd kicks, steals to the plate, spikes it in the dirt. It's 2-1. Two and 1. Got it into the zone and a fly ball out to straightaway left field. Royer has it in its sights, makes the grab, 2 up, 2 down. And Floyd dealing right there on the mound.
We talked about it with Nate Floyd, right? For him, it's just a matter of staying in the strike zone. When he's throwing strikes, he does not get hit hard very often. And right now, he's staying in the strike zone. When he's doing that, he's getting these outs. Looking to finish the inning right here and get a 1-2-3 inning.
Here comes Max Bond. Bond will foul the first pitch back to the backstop. Max Bond 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to Luke Thomas his first time up, and then struck out looking his second time around. 0-1, Floyd with a nice slider there. Front door slider, gets the inner half of the plate for strike 2, and he's way ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 on Max Bond. Floyd looking for a second consecutive 1-2-3. Here's the pitch outside, and it's 1-2.
Floyd, I believe, got Max Bond looking on the over-the-top curveball in that last at-bat. Hasn't gone to it yet in this at-bat. Let's see if he goes back to it or if he goes with the fastball.
1-2 outside, 2-2. Looked like Nate Floyd just opened up a bit too much there. Wanted the outside fastball. I'm sure not that far outside. It's 2-2. You're on Max Bond.
Now he has some pitches to work with. Still even at 2-2. Have a pitch to work with.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Dribbled foul. Over by the Wittenberg dugout. We're doing the 2-2 once more.
Good pitch right there to attack the inner half right there. Now that really sets up whatever pitch he wants to if he's confident in it.
Both teams have some players just starting to loosen up in the bullpen. Nothing serious yet. 2-2, Floyd with 2 outs to the plate. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. That's 8 retired in a row from Nate Floyd, and he is fired up. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. 5-3 Tigers of DePauw leading the Wittenberg Tigers. Wittenberg looking for some runs. Alex Nemunitis will stand in. Nate Floyd has retired 8 in a row for the Wittenberg Tigers, as he is certainly dealing up on the bump.
Floyd has been looking very good right now. We saw him just executing pitches, right, getting to that fastball in the inner half in that last at-bat, able to then open up the sliders away, commanding the strike zone. And Nate Floyd, as we said, has had a lot of success here as a Wittenberg Tiger. Just hasn't really gotten it to really get flowing this season so far. Rolling right now, and if the Tigers can get that going for them coming into the NCAC tournament, that is huge. So it's really good to see Nate Floyd pitching the way he is right now.
We enter the bottom of the 6th, 5-3, DePauw leading Wittenberg. Battle of the Tigers here at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. Daytime baseball, 1-1 here on Nemunitis to get things going outside, and it's 2-1. Tenza has honed it in, and outside of that bottom of the 2nd where he gave up 3 earned runs, he has been dominant on the mound for DePauw. Fastball inside, Nemunitis way up in the count, 3-1.
Nemo had that 2-strike double to right center field for his first hit of the ball game. He's 1 for 2 so far. Now ahead 3-1. Let's see if he can take control and get a hit right here.
3-1. And looked like he went with another fastball, but that was left up top of the zone. And it's a leadoff walk for Alex Nemunitis. Here comes the tying run to the plate. And it's the true freshman, Xander Rodriguez, who's 1 for 2 today.
Good at bat by Alex Nemunitis to lead things off, get that first base runner on. Feels like it's been a little while since the Tigers got that first leadoff batter of the inning on base. Let's see if they can take advantage of it now with Xander Rodriguez to follow.
Xander Rodriguez will look at a first pitch backdoor breaking ball in there for strike 1. Right down the middle. Xander Rodriguez, an aggressive hitter, but also knows the strike zone and knows the pitches he wants to swing at. Not afraid to work the count. His confidence to hit with any pitch count against him certainly up there early on the fastball, and it's 0-2 on Xander Rodriguez.
Like you said, not afraid to work the count. That's how you get 30-plus walks in a season, right? 33 through 35 games. Down 0-2, but as we said, we've seen him be able to work counts behind as well. Let's see if he can do it right here.
No balls and 2 strikes on Xander Rodriguez. Here's the 0-2 by Tenza. That one's way upstairs, and it's 1-2. Elevated fastball has worked today. Xander Rodriguez, though, a polished hitter. It's going to be hard to get him to chase on those elevated fastballs. Nemunitis with the leadoff walk gets his leadoff first. 0 down here in the bottom of the 6th. 5-3 DePauw leads. They're checked back Nemunitis. Nemunitis just got back there in a nick of time. Didn't have much time to spare. DePauw in their dugout thought they got him. But it's 1-2 on Rodriguez, and Nemunitis will stay at first.
Had Nemo leading a little bit over there at first base. He was able to just get his hand in there to be safe. As he now shortens his lead, and they will pick over again, knowing that almost got him a pitcher is going to want to try it again.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Xander Rodriguez. Tenza comes set. This time he'll come to the plate. Rodriguez fights it off and fouls it back. We'll do the 1-2 again.
See Xander working a 2-strike count once again. Seeing a couple pitches now with 2 strikes, seeing if he can win the battle.
1-2 on Xander Rodriguez. Tenza to the plate. Rodriguez might have gotten under it a bit. Fly ball out to straightaway right field, just shy of the track as the right fielder Glimko will back up. He'll make the grab. And Rodriguez just got under it a tad, or else it would have been a tie game, but it's a long out. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Nemunitis stays in place at first base. And here comes Matt Moore, 2 for 2 today, a double and a single.
Tenza doing a good job working the off-speed pitch right there, getting Xander Rodriguez to just reach for it. Just under it, as you said. Flies out to deep right field. Now Matt Moore looks to not let that leadoff batter get on for nothing, right? Looking to keep this thing going, get a run, get that first run in a couple of innings that they've been held to 3-0. Both teams had, right? So looking to scratch the offense back a little bit here in the bottom of the 5th.
Matt Moore stands in. Fastball down the middle for strike 1.
Bottom of the 6th. Excuse me, bottom of the 6th inning.
No balls and 1 strike on Matt Moore. With 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Unitas gets his lead. This one roped the other way, but right at the right fielder. Drifting over, Glimko's there for the second put out of the inning. Hard hit ball there by Matt Moore, just nothing else he could have done. It's hit right at somebody. In that case, the right fielder, Danny Glimko. And back-to-back line-out or flyouts to the right fielder. And now, after that leadoff walk by Alex Nemunitis, he's still standing at first base with 2 down, and here comes Griskovich.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. The hard line drive to right field is right at the right fielder. Nothing you can do there. Now Parker really looks to make sure that the Tigers don't scratch another zero right here.
Griskovich had that RBI double back in the second and bounced into that inning-ending double play.
If Griskovich can do whatever he can to get on base here, even if he doesn't score, Alex Nemunitis, you have a hitter in James McCulley who we have seen.
Fly ball out to center field. Carrying just a tad, center fielder moving back just in front of the track. And Howard will make the catch. So after the leadoff walk, it won't come around to hurt DePauw. Couple of flyouts, and we're going to the 7th. 5-3, DePauw leads. Over the last couple of innings, we've had some pitchers duels. Of course, Nate Floyd, he has retired now 8 in a row. We're back to the top of the order to Cam Macon, as Macon will lead things off here in the away half of the 7th. But also, Nathaniel Tenza has been terrific on the bump as well.
Yeah, Tenza's been very, very good so far today. That's through 6 innings now. Very good outing by Tenza. As looking at his season stats, right, he said he has a 5.66 ERA. As that ground ball is hit as James McCulley comes up. Good job fielding a tough hop to get out number 1. And that's the first time Macon has been held off the bases in this ball game. So a very good job by Nate Floyd right there and a good play by James McCulley. But for Tenza, this is a guy who, by the time it was April 9th, he had a 4.76 ERA in the season. He then faced Dennison and Kenyon, who both had pretty good games against him, right? Brought his ERA up a little bit. But this is a guy who has went 6+ innings before this season. So this is a very good pitcher for DePauw, and we're seeing it here today.
Fastball misses low from Floyd. 1 away after the leadoff ground out by Macon. To James McCulley, first time he's kept off the base paths today. That's now 9 in a row from Floyd. Stopped on the ground. Thomas plays it on a hop and make it 10 in a row for Nate Floyd.
Hard hit right there by Floyd, but right into the ground. Good job by Nate Floyd, having some of that natural arm side run and dive to generate that ground ball. And Luke Thomas does a good job fielding it and getting out number 2. 2 quick, efficient outs. Let's see if now Nate Floyd can stay efficient and get this third one right here against a pretty dangerous power hitter right here in Glimko.
Nobody on with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Here comes Glimko. Glimko fly out to Connor O'Malley his first time around. Popped up to Luke Thomas and then flew out to Rocco Royer. But that fly out, though, the last time up to Rocco Royer, more on a line. It was a hard hit ball, just hung in the air a bit too long. Misses away, 1 ball and 1 strike. To Danny Glimko. Floyd to the plate. Inside, got the corner. It's 1-2. Glimco didn't like the call. Just was able to get that outer edge or a piece of it, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nate Floyd up in the count.
Nate Floyd's going to get that natural arm side run, as we said, so it looks like it goes a little bit more in. Just clipped enough for strike number 2.
1-2. Breaking ball, lifted high, up into the air, and just over the shortstop's James McCauley's head. Slider swung early, was just able to stay with it, and bloops this one into left center field for a 2-out single. So Glimco's aboard. The inning will continue, and here comes Grady Johnson.
Good piece of 2-strike hitting right there. Seeing the fastball in, looking, seeing the slider away right there. Does a good job just getting enough, as you said, to lead off and get that first hit with 2 outs. And we've talked about 2-out runs before, so Nate Floyd has to dial in and not let that run coming across the score.
Fastball got the bottom third of the zone for strike 1. Grady Johnson hit by a pitch his first time up, then singled and grounded out to Luke Thomas. A pitch he swung early on and then just topped it over to Luke Thomas. Thomas was able to make a nice play. It was a close play at first with Grady Johnson in his speed chugging down that first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down, 1 on here in the top of the 7th. DePauw leads 5-3. Floyd to the plate. Fastball got the outer edge for strike 2. He's up in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Great job by Nate Floyd getting ahead of another count. See if he can now finish this one with 2 strikes.
1-2. The pitch way outside. And a bit low as well. Evens it up at 2 apiece. Both bullpens have personnel in them, but nothing rambunctious yet. Swing and a miss! Outside.
Oh, he called a balk.
And never mind, it was a balk beforehand. Swing and a miss. Wittenberg was halfway into the dugout. The balk was called beforehand, so Glimco will advance 90 feet. He gets a free pass to second, and it's 2-2. They got him originally on that slider that was left way outside. A nasty pitch by Floyd. He'll have to do it again. 2-2. New life for Johnson. Fastball outside, and we've gone full 3-2.
We've talked about the free passes, right? The free passes. That balk right there is another free pass. And all of this now, that guy gets in scoring position with 2 outs. There was nobody on base with 2 outs. Now a little blooper again would score that run. Nate Floyd has to dial it back in right here.
3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Glimco at second. Here's the pitch outside, ball 4. And it's a walk to Grady Johnson. Johnson's on for the 3rd time today. And with 2 on and 2 out, that ball came at the worst time possible. Originally, it was a strikeout for Grady Johnson. The balk was called. Johnson sees 2 more pitches. They were both left outside. And now there are 2 on with 2 outs.
Now it could have been Johnson just swinging because he heard balk, right? As you know, if on a balk, the play is not dead. So if he does just swing and put it in play, maybe it then allows they take the base hit, maybe a guy scores or something.
2 on, 2 out. Front door breaker in there for strike 1. Hunter Herbeck stands in. Herbeck, a pair of hits today and a pair of RBIs as well for DePauw.
Wittenberg has 2 arms out there, 2 familiar faces in Kyle Mahan and Charlie Schaefer.
No balls and 1 strike. Fastball on the inner third. Swung on way early. Herbeck once again down 0-2. He has been down 0-2 in a couple of previous at-bats. Both hits that he has on the days, he has either worked the count or has battled back from an 0-2 deficit.
And it's hit right in that 5-6 hole, so let's see if Floyd can not allow that to happen.
0-2, here's pitch, fastball, swung on, fouled back. And battling Herbeck will strike again.
Doing a good job just protecting with 2 strikes. And both of those times where he protected in those at-bats, he got 2 RBIs off of them.
Floyd comes set, 2 on, 2 out, top of the 7th. Floyd looks back. Now will come to the plate. Here's a pitch, slider, breaks away. Good waste pitch there by Floyd, but it's 1-2.
Yeah, just not convincing enough, right? Just broke a little bit too early to where you couldn't get a swing from Herbeck. Good take from Herbeck, though.
1-2. 2 on, 2 out. The pitch from Floyd, blasted into left field to the moon, and it is a no-doubter over the fence and gone. A 3-run home run blasted off the bat of Hunter Herbeck. Herbeck will play 3, and DePauw has opened this one up here in the top of the 7th. They lead 8-3.
Herbeck's had himself a fantastic day today. Defensively, hitting, 2 strikes, doesn't matter. He's been absolutely fantastic. And that is his 5th RBI of the day, I believe. So just an outstanding game from Herbeck, as he's really been the deciding factor for this DePaul's offense in a 5-run ball game, 5 RBIs from the guy. So Tigers now, Nate Floyd, if you're him, you just got to dial it back in, look to get this last out. And we talked about 2 out runs and 2 out RBIs, right? First 2 outs of that inning came really quick and efficiently, right? But got to get that 3rd out, and just like that, 3 runs scored with 2 outs.
Herbeck now has his 3rd home run of the year. Floyd remains in with a fastball that got the outer third of the plate. DePauw has opened this one up. They now lead 8-3.
In a game 2 where there was
smacked on the ground, and that's through the 3-4 gap into right field. And more life for DePauw with 2 outs.
In a game as well where you had 3 or 4 straight zeros up on the board, 4 straight zeros for the Tigers offensively, 3 straight zeros for DePauw offensively, and then 2 quick outs. You thought it was going to be another 0 the way that the pitching's been going, right? But DePauw just crawling back and able to get those 3 runs. And we've seen the Tigers take advantage with the long ball, right, when their offense wasn't completely rolling, able to hit that long ball and open the game up. DePauw just does just that against Wittenberg, and now opens this ball game up a little bit.
Check swing by Howard. Howard did not go around. It's 1-0 now on Aiden Howard.
We are actually on Tyler Suker.
Beg your pardon, this is Tyler Suker. Beg your pardon, looked at my list wrong. Swung on a missed. Suker, the DH. He's 0 for 2 today. He had that sacrifice fly as well. It resulted in a double play, but got the run. 1-1 as he was starting on the fastball. Floyd to the plate. Check swing. And it was low. 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike here on Ty Suker. Two outs. Curveball, front door curveball. Got the inside part of the plate, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on. Ball leads 8-3 after a 3-run home run. This one hit pretty well out into right center field, and it's going to drop. It's going to short hop the fence, rolls all the way to the wall. Windmill was originally on. Now they will pause him at third. So Null will be held at third. No RBI there for Suker. Here comes Aiden Howard to the plate with 2 runners on base, both in scoring position. And here comes manager McGee out of the dugouts.
Just unfortunate right there, right? One thing that I want to talk about is for Nate Floyd, he hasn't thrown more than 4 innings all season long. This is the longest outing that he's had all season, right? You almost got to think after you let those 2 guys on, after going 4 2/3, you might want to look to go somewhere else. Obviously, with Nate Floyd pitching the way that he was, you wanted to stick it out with him. Unfortunately, it came back to just home run hit and another double right there. But Nate Floyd pitched outstanding today, right? Obviously, those 2 runs are still his responsibility. Kyle Mahan will look to stop the damage a little bit, stop the faucets from running, obviously. But he hadn't pitched in a game with 4 innings in a month. March 29th was the last time he threw 4 innings. Since then, it's been nothing above that. And all season long, his longest appearances had been 4 innings, right? So this is the longest he's went. Just started to lose gas a little bit off of the velo as well. So that fastball in the inner half, that extra little 2-3 miles an hour might have be able to get past, or maybe just a foul ball from Herbeck instead. Herbeck's able to hit a line drive home run. Now we got a 5-run ball game with 2 guys in scoring position with a very good arm, Kyle Mahan, coming up, looking to stop the damage.
Mahan will look to stop the bleeding. 8-3, DePauw leads Wittenberg. We'll be back on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. Kyle Mahan has been one of, if not the most trusted bullpen arms this season for the Wittenberg Tigers. He'll come in a pickle. Runners on second and third. He does have 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, as the inning was sailing for Nate Floyd. And the first 2 outs rather quickly, and then it all started with a single from Glimko, a walk to Johnson, a 3-run home run from Harbeck, then a single from Knoll, and then a double from Zucker.
Kyle Mahan, as you said, has been one of the go-to bullpen arms for this Wittenberg Tigers team. A 2.89 ERA and 18 2/3, 11 appearances, up there from some of the most appearances on the year. 8.68 K per 9, 1.29 WHIP.
0-1. Here's the pitch. Popped him up.
Plenty of room.
Drifting back down to left field. Nemunitis giving chase. Nemunitis with a great effort just over the outstretched reach of his glove. A long strike. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
Just out the outstretched reach. Far ways to go, as we said. Plenty of room out there in the foul territories here at Carlton Davidson. Unfortunately, just out of the reach. Not really a play that you expect any third baseman to make. But ahead 0-2 right there for Kyle Mahan.
No balls and 2 strikes. Aiden Howard, the center fielder, stands in. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the pitch, smacked on the ground. Thomas gets over, and it's under his glove, and it's going to be trouble. 1 run's going to score. Here comes run number 2. Knoll will score Zucker will score from second. A bit of an Olay there by Luke Thomas. 2 more runs come to score. DePauw has opened this one up now to a 10-3 game in a 5-run 7th inning. And here comes the number 9 batter in the order, Max Bond.
Yeah, just an unfortunate.
Looks like they will give Thomas an error on that. An untimely error and an uncharacteristic error by Luke Thomas. Something that you don't necessarily see Thomas, a senior infielder, make a whole lot.
That's just one right there where you saw it pop up just a little bit off that lip, right? As soon as you see that big hop as an infielder, you got to go get it, right? Because the next hop that's going to come is that little in-between skipper, which LT got right there, just got right through, under, over the glove a little bit. Just unfortunate hop. You got to understand the hops here a little bit. He lost his footing a bit, which I think prevented him from being able to come up and get that. But Mahan ahead, 0-2 once again. Let's see if he can finish this one and the defense can make a play behind him.
No balls and 2 strikes. Mahan comes set, now comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. No, he foul-tipped it.
Good job just to get a piece right there by Bond, staying alive, 0-2.
Max Bond, not necessarily a Barry Bond. He only has 1 home run this season. 0-2.
Freshman, though, has plenty of time to add on to his career home run total.
Certainly a bright future. Dribbles this one foul.
Barry Bonds didn't hit as many home runs early. Not that he didn't hit a lot early on, but he didn't hit a lot until, some things happened later on through his career.
It's all when, happened.
Yeah, Max Bond, you might see in a couple of years, his neck might grow a little bit. And he could change his fortune.
No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Your own Max Bond. Pitch, curveball, left eye, and it's 1-2. Bond had to duck out of the way.
If he had the bigger neck, maybe. 1-2.
I was thinking the same thing, but you beat me to it. 1-2. Fastball is smoked on the ground into the hole. Thomas sliding play, picks it up, throws to Rodriguez, and he is retired. A tough play there. Great play and a great answer back by Luke Thomas, but DePauw, they get 5. 10-3. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time at Carlton Davidson Stadium. new arm for the DePauw Tigers as Nate Tenza's day will come to a close. Pierce Riendo will take over on the mound, a 3.06 ERA. He has made 7 appearances this season, all of those starting. 35 and a third inning pitch, opponent's average of 2.06. He is one of their weekend guys, one of their weekend starters. But now coming in on the midweek, trying to ensure that DePauw can get out of here with a victory in Game 1. James McCauley will lead things off. First pitch, fastball down and in. Ball 1. We'll see McCauley and then back to the top of the order, as it looks like Thatcher Dietz stands in the on-deck circle for a possible pinch hit opportunity.
Yeah, Riendo, like you said, one of their weekend guys, looks to be their number 2 starter, the sophomore left-handed pitcher. Looks to be the guy who will take over the reins once their senior left-handed pitcher, Michael Vallone, graduates.
Riendo comes to the plate, and a backdoor slider. Got him looking, and it's 1-2.
As you said, 3.06 ERA on the year, 7 starts in all of his 7 appearances. This is his first appearance out of the pen. Coach McGee looking to ask a question to the umpire, but as we go into that, let's talk about the implications that this game has in the NCAC, right? If this game were to finish out just how it is right now, and the Wittenberg Tigers were to lose this game and DePauw were to win, that would put 3 different teams in conference with 3 losses, being DePauw, Wittenberg, and Denison, right? So a lot of indication and implications of what this series means. Obviously, James McCauley looking to get the first leadoff guy on with looking like Thatcher Dietz is on deck for the Tigers, the Wittenberg Tigers.
1-2, down and in the dirt, dug out there by the catcher, Herbeck, and it's even up at 2-2. So Wittenberg ultimately, to control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the NCAC tournament, needs to win 3 out of their last 4 conference games. They have Kenyon coming up this weekend on Saturday. Kenyon currently sits 4th in the NCAC. So Wittenberg, they can afford to drop this one, but they would have to ensure they win out.
And then even then, there could be some weird stuff with tiebreakers. A lot of weird implications going on with this finishing to the standings.
3-2 on McCauley. McCauley, fly ball out to straightaway center field. Center fielder barely has to move, and Aiden Howard will make the grab for out number 1. In the bottom of the 7th, and here comes Thatcher Dietz, the pinch hitter, hitting .325 this season. He has 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, .417 on base percentage, and a .675 slugging percentage. Will stand into the batter's box.
Yeah, Dietz has been phenomenal in his freshman campaign. A lot of pinch hit opportunities. Only 40 at-bats so far, so 3 home runs and 40 at-bats. Pretty impressive, obviously. This is a guy who, if he makes contact, the ball's going to come off his bat hard. Strong kid, very good athlete. Looks to get things going with 1 out here, as he's now at the top of the order, following 2, 3, 4 behind him.
Thatcher Dietz, he has not hit a home run in quite some time. In fact, his 3 home runs came very early in the season, and some of his first at-bats in his collegiate career. This time he pops it up down the right field line. First baseman overran it, but is able to reach out and uses his wingspan to make the grab. Nice play by Carter Knoll. Dietz is retired, 2 down. Here comes Luke Thomas.
That's not an easy play right there. Those high pop-ups in the infield with the wind swirling here at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. Just a good job making that last-second adjustment for out number 2. Now, we saw DePauw Tigers, they had their run go with 2 outs. Let's see if Luke Thomas can get on base, and maybe the Wittenberg Tigers can get some runs with 2 outs here as well.
DePauw struck for all their runs in the top half of the inning with 2 outs. So 2-out magic is a thing.
Big thing for in this game as well. 2 big innings for the DePauw Tigers. They had the 1 inning where they scored 4 runs, and now that last inning where they scored 5. 9 of their 10 runs in this game have come through 2 innings, right? Tigers have only gotten all their 3 runs in 1 inning, right? So a lot of zeros otherwise than that. It's just that the DePauw Tigers innings were a little bit bigger and hurt a little bit more than Wittenberg's.
1-1. Thomas rolls over, ground ball to first, scooped up, and there, step on the bag. 1-2-3 goes Wittenberg. We're going to the 8th. DePauw, they lead by a touchdown. Crown Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. New arm for the Wittenberg Tigers as Owen Treese will take over on the mound. He hasn't thrown a whole lot this season. 4 1/3 of an inning. He's allowed 4 earned runs and an opponent's batting average of 188. Owen Treese will take over here in inning number 8 as Wittenberg trails by 7.
As you said, opponent batting average of 188. He's pitched well. He just has a couple of, some of those hits in those 188s have been homers, which have hurt his ERA on the season. He was used early on this year. The first couple of games of the season where he got most of his appearances, he got hit around a little bit in between, which then he didn't get used a little bit since then. But a very good pitcher nonetheless, a guy that the Tigers trust and look to hopefully get a 0 right here to kind of stop the bleeding and maybe make some magic happen late in this game.
Here's the pitch. Fastball paints out outside corner, and he's quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Treese goes back to work. Here is the 0-2 slider, and it hit him. Macon was aboard once again. The second time he's been hit by a pinch today. He's on base for the 4th time, and the leadoff man is on for DePauw.
This is exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter, a guy who gets on base, and he's done that today.
Let's take a look real quick as we forgot to talk about it. It was a quick bottom half of the 7th, so we're going to go over Tenza's final stat line. Nate Tenza, 6 innings, allowing 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. His pitch count was at 95. This one jammed him a bit, popped up towards the second base side. Thomas is there. He'll make the grab for out number 1.
And as we said, those 3 earned runs all came in 1 inning. So outside of that 1 inning, Tenza was absolutely fantastic. Even with that 1 inning, he had a fantastic outing as he put his team in position to win, and he's in position to get the win here today.
Looks like Justin Kreller, the southpaw left-handed pitcher, is warming up in the bullpen for Wittenberg.
Treese doing a good job to get out number 1 right there, getting in on the hands of Florida.
And another breaking ball that got away from Treese will plunk Glimko, and Glimko's aboard.
Just missing inside with that breaking ball, as you said. That's 2 hit by batters, the 1 coming with 0-2 as well. You never want to see that. The Tigers as a whole have had a real issue with hitting batters. I think they might have 73 hit by pitchers as a pitching staff so far this season. Obviously not a great number. They lead the NCAC. You want to lead your conference in categories. That's probably not one of them, as they've hit magnitude of batters this season.
2 on and 1 out. Here comes Grady Johnson. Johnson squares around, shows bunt, bunts it down the third base line, foul.
Good idea from Johnson as you see the third baseman playing back. You know, with the guy on second base, he's probably playing back to keep the infield bigger, keep the ball in the infield. Looks to take advantage of it, get a bump for a hit down, but he falls behind 0-1 as he fouls that one off.
No balls and 1 strike now on Grady Johnson. 2 on, 1 out. Treese comes set out on the mound. Kicks, deals, comes to the plate. This one turned on, hammered into deep right field. O'Malley drifts over, will make the play. Tagging from second, heading to third. Here's Macon. Macon will go as it's cut off by McCulley in the infield. So Macon will advance from second to third, but out number 2 in the inning is recorded. Runners are on the corners, and here comes Hunter Herbeck.
Good job by O'Malley making that play towards the right field line. Catching that ball for out number 2, and Macon with his speed is able to get into third base easily.
Hunter Herbeck hit that 3-run home run his last time up. He has 5 RBIs in this game. He has 3 for 4, a couple of singles with those RBIs, a 3-run home run, and then a pop-up. And the only time he hasn't gotten an RBI in an at-bat this season, or this game.
I believe that home run came with 2 strikes as well, if I'm not mistaken. So all of his RBIs coming with 2 strike counts as well.
0-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses away, and it's 1-1.
If you're Herbeck here, maybe you just want to take a pitch here to get to 2 strikes. That's been pretty successful for you so far today.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch from Treese fouled back to the backstop. As Herbeck just early on that one, it's now 1-2 with 2 outs, and remember, a runner on first base.
This is right where Herbeck's comfortable, it seems, so not afraid to work the counts, obviously, as we've seen so far today.
1-2, the pitch from Treese. Curveball left just upstairs. Runner was going, and I don't think they were aware of it. Griskovich didn't throw down. Stopped in the middle of the base.
They were aware, they just didn't want to. Obviously, that run doesn't mean much. You're already down by 7. You don't want to give another free run by throwing down and maybe something stupid happening. That was just DePauw trying to make something happen as he stopped midway, opened the draw to throw, and then with the speed of Macon, he might be able to score easily for free.
Macon is at third, so it could have been a steal and stop situation. That's why Wittenberg didn't go through. 3-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Herbeck. Fastball got the inside corner and got him looking. Herbeck has had the last laugh quite a bit today, but not this time. Owen Trees gets him with the backwards K. Bottom of the 8th upcoming, 10-3 DePauw on top of Wittenberg. Three, four, 5 coming to the plate for Wittenberg. They need some runs. They trail by 7. Rocco Royer will stand in. He's been hitless so far today, this afternoon. Reached on an air earlier on in his last at-bat. Air by the shortstop. It was booted there by Max Bond. Riendo still on the mound with a first pitch like a breaking ball. Cuts in the zone for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike here on Rocco Royer.
Yeah, good little slider right there from Riendo. Get ahead in the count.
Riendo will follow it up with another slider. This time it's inside 1-1. Bottom of the 8th, 10-3. DePauw, they struck for 5 in the 7th. That is ultimately where they have opened up this one. Riendo to the plate. Backdoor slider, got the strike zone, and it's 1-2.
Just doing a good job commanding all of his pitches. Slider, changeup, worked the fastball as well in his first inning of work.
1-2, the pitch, fastball outside. And it's 2-2. Again, 10-3. The clawback Tigers will have to strike again. They want a chance to take game 1 of this 2-game doubleheader. Game 2 will start about 30 minutes after the end of game 1. Here's the 2-2. Royer puts a pretty good drive into this one. Out into center field. Center fielder going back to the track. Reaches up right at the wall and will make the catch. Round number 1. Rocco Royer put a good charge into it. Just left it short. Wind helped him carry it, but hit it to the deepest part of the park. 390 straightaway center field, and I'm sure that one was probably right around 385.
Yeah, unfortunate. Just didn't get enough of it. Obviously, good piece of hitting, good piece, good barrel. As you said, deepest part of the park as it stays in for out number 1.
You get that anywhere else, that is long gone. Here comes Connor O'Malley. O'Malley, look at a first pitch strike that got that outside corner.
Starting it off with that slider once again. Lefty on lefty slider. Good pitch.
0-1 now to Connor O'Malley. Another slider at the low inside corner, and it's 0-2.
First time for O'Malley seeing Riendo as he throws two good sliders right there. Just isn't able to see it out of the hand great as he falls behind 0-2. Now he has to adjust right here.
No balls and 2 strikes on O'Malley. O'Malley hits this one right up the middle, right off Riendo. Riendo's able to knock it down. He can't barehand it in the grass. And O'Malley's aboard with 1 out. It was smoked up the middle. Riendo was able to knock it down. Was able to keep it in front of him, then had to run, try to scoop it up out of the grass. It got caught up in the grass. He ran right over top of it. O'Malley's aboard with 1 out, and here comes Alex Nemunitis. Be interesting to see what they give Connor O'Malley there. And they will give him a hit. So it is a hit for Connor O'Malley, his second of the day. O'Malley got a great jump, and he's able to take off for second.
Riendo just made a mistake. Went in the windup right there. I don't know what they could possibly be.
I think they called a balk beforehand. Connor O'Malley had a great jump.
It wasn't a balk because he was just in the windup. There's no balk. That's just.
And I think that the umpire is trying to explain for DePauw. O'Malley did have the great jump because, as you said, Riendo was in the windup.
I think the umpire just made a mistake, and he tried to back it up with an excuse that I haven't heard before, saying that he was in a hybrid motion, which just isn't true. He was just in the same motion he's been the entire time in the windup. I think he just got confused a little bit. But regardless, we'll take it because that's now an 0-0 count instead of 0-1.
Pitch is inside, 1-0. Be interesting to see what that was. As you mentioned, he was in the windup. That's why Connor O'Malley got a great jump. I think the balk will stand. That's why it went back to an 0-0 count. Now it's 1-0 on Nemunitis. Here's a pitch to Nemunitis, and it's inside, drives inside, and it hit him.
And what's it called? I will say, I haven't read every page of the rule book, right? He said something about a hybrid motion, which I just don't think is a thing, but I could be wrong, right? I probably am wrong, but regardless, we will take it as instead of an 0-1 count, it made it 0-0, and then Alex Nemunitis was now able to get a hit by pitch. Now you get 2 guys on base with 1 out with Xander Rodriguez to follow.
Pitching coach will come out and we'll talk to Riendo. 2 on and 1 out. Here comes Xander Rodriguez. In the bottom of the 8th, the Clawback Tigers trying to make a comeback. They've done it a few times this season. They've also come back by some pretty hefty deficits and have come up just shy.
Here's the thing for the Tigers, right? When you're facing for the Wittenberg Tigers, right? But if you're DePauw, if you're facing
Weird
a team,
having to
Exactly.
clarify that today.
When you're facing a team like Wittenberg, the way that their offense is able to explode at any moment with, as we said, 36 home runs on the season, with slugging over 500, with hitting as a team 347, right? That is why the Tigers have been able to just scratch back and claw back at many leads this season. Obviously, that's why DePauw went with the guy in Riendo, who they trust is a weekend guy, is a 3.06 ERA, is one of their top pitchers. They knew that no lead is safe against a team like Wittenberg.
Slider way outside on Rodriguez for ball 1. And Wittenberg, they are a lineup, and it's a rare scenario where you have guys 1 through 9 who can hit and just smash the cover off the baseball, and that's what Wittenberg has. It's been why their offense has been so explosive this season. Rodriguez high and inside with that Juan Soto stare down to Riendo. Riendo gives it back. It's 2-0.
Just a couple of guys competing. You got a sophomore pitcher up there, freshman hitter, 2 guys that are very good at a young age. These guys are going to compete no matter what.
2-0 here on Rodriguez. Fastball got the outer third of the plate, 2-1.
And it's good to see, right? Both these guys are exactly who they are, unapologetically, right? And there's no bad blood. It's just 2 guys competing in a big conference game.
2-1 now on Rodriguez with 2 on and 1 out. Nice slider. Got Rodriguez way out in front, 2-2.
Good job by Riendo to bounce back in this count now, starting off 2-0. Getting it back even to 2-2 with a nasty slider right there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Riendo. Goes back to that slider. Just fights it off. Popped up back and will stay in play, but the third baseman not able to get there.
Yeah,
2-2.
stays in play, but really foul out of play obviously would have been impossible, especially as he shifted over against Xander Rodriguez, the lefty.
2-2 on Rodriguez. Riendo kicks, deals, comes to the plate, got another slider, but it hit Nemunitis, and Nemunitis will be called out.
Ugh, just unfortunate right there.
Would have been a base hit, and the Tigers would have at least had bases loaded, depending on whether or not they tempted O'Malley to come. But it was a game of dodgeball where Alex Nemunitis was plunked in the leg, just unfortunate. Couldn't avoid it. Out number 2. Rodriguez will head to first, and Connor O'Malley will head back to second.
Yeah, just something you don't want to see, something you can't allow to happen. Unfortunate, right? But that's a big out number 2 instead of a base hit. Probably an RBI single as well. Matt Moore now looking to make sure that doesn't come back to bite him and hopefully at least get one still.
Matt Moore stands in. Curveball in the dirt, got away. Left right at Matt Moore's feet. Connor O'Malley will not test it. They need base runners, so O'Malley will wisely stay at second.
Yeah, you're already in scoring position. You're moving off contact anyways. No need to try to risk that with a very good catcher behind the plate. You're already in scoring position anyways.
Riendo to the plate. Slider out in front. And Matt Moore was able to hold back on it. And the slider missed inside. It's 2-0 on the designated hitter.
Matt Moore now ahead in the count right here. We've seen him hit the ball hard multiple times here today.
2-0, the pitch, fouled back and off of Matt Moore.
Right off the foot right there.
Baseball's out for vengeance in this inning.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Matt Moore now get hit on a foul ball. We saw Alex Nemunitis get hit on that line drive by Xander Rodriguez. I think the baseball has become public enemy number 1 for both of these teams. 2-1 now on Matt Moore.
We saw the hit that O'Malley had, went back and hit Riendo.
Here's pitch, slider left upstairs, and it's 3-1. 3-1 on Matt Moore. Parker Griskovich stands in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch, kicks, deals, it's low, ball 4, Matt Moore is aboard, bases are loaded, and here comes Griskovich with 2 away.
Just really unfortunate there that line drive off of Alex Nemunitis in an inning where you finally got things going a little bit, where you probably would have scored a run at least there. If it was bases loaded, you score at least a run there. Just unfortunate. They will go to the bullpen here, as that will do it for Riendo, as they will go to, it looks like, another left-handed arm. We will let you guys know who that is once we get the number. But Tigers not able to get a run, but they still are rolling. Bases loaded now with 2 outs with Parker Griskovich coming up following the pitching change.
It's a Tiger call to the pen. We'll be back on the Tiger Sports Network powered by TKDS. Jake Tomitz will take over on the mound for DePauw, 3.98 ERA. He's got a 177 whip. He's 1-0 on the year. This is his 12th appearance. He started in 2 games, so his 10th appearance out of the pen, and an opponent's batting average of 308 all through 20 and a third. Bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Griskovich stands in, and a first pitch fastball misses away, 1-0 on the catcher.
Yeah, Tomet's another left-handed sophomore pitcher. As you said, with plenty of appearances this year, 20 and a third innings, so another young pitcher that they trust.
1-0 here on Griskovich. Breaking ball way outside, and it's 2-0.
Parker Griskovich, we know, is an aggressive hitter right here, so just because it's 2-0 and a new batter doesn't mean that a new pitcher does not mean that Griskovich won't be aggressive on a good pitch to hit.
Griskovich hit a home run on Saturday in a 3-0 count. This one hit pretty well out into center field. Center fielder going back at the track and will make the grab. Ball just did not carry enough. And the Tigers strand, the bases loaded. We're going to the 9th. DePauw leads 10-3 on Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS. New pitcher for Wittenberg as Colin Maynard will take over on the mound. A 4.50 ERA. He's only thrown in 2 innings this season. 1 earned run. An opponent's batting average at 300 against Maynard. The left-handed southpaw thrower out there on the mound. We also have a change at catcher as Quentin Applegate will enter the ball game. First pitch fastball misses way upstairs. It's ball 1. We'll see Carter Knoll, Ty Suker, and Aiden Howard all due up here in the away half of the 9th. 10-3 the score. Wittenberg stranded, the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. In the dirt, and it's 2-0. Maynard, a young pitcher for the Tigers, but a promising future. Two balls and no strikes. Fastball got the inside corner for strike 1. It's 2-1. Going back to Maynard. Maynard, in the appearances we've seen from him this season, he has been solid, and the future is certainly there. But when you have guys such as Charlie Schaefer, Kyle Mahan, as this one smoked into center field, it'll drop right in front of Gladden.
Thatcher Dietz.
Or I beg your pardon, yes, Thatcher Dietz. Dietz checked into center field on that pitch hit from Cam Gladden. And the leadoff man is on for DePauw. But when you have a bullpen as deep as Wittenberg has had, especially this season, Maynard has all the talent in the world. With him being so young, that's why he's had maybe more of a limited role this season. Coming out of that bullpen, popped up, first base side. Rodriguez will make the grab for out number 1.
We keep on talking about the implications of the NCAC games going on today. Looking at some of them, Denison, who is the other team that has only 3 losses in second place right now, they are leading 7-3 against Oberlin in the bottom of the 6th. Looking to keep their good season going as they are a top 5 team in the country.
Smoked into center field. Dietz going back on the run will make the grab. Out number 2 retired.
And then when we look at Kenyon and Hiram, Kenyon, who we know is in the 4 seed right now at 7-6, they are leading 5-3 in game number 2 against Hiram. And then we look at Owu and Wabash. Wabash is up 5-3 in game number 2, and they won game number 1 as well. But if Kenyon is able to win their second game against Hiram, they would still be a game ahead of Wabash, even if they were to get the sweep.
Maynard with a changeup, misses upstairs. It's 1-0. Here comes Max Bond, the shortstop. DePauw leads 10-3. Pitch from Maynard. This one blasted into left center field. Dietz going back, and it's going to bounce on the track. Dietz is going to pull it down. Windmill is on, and the throw gets over Macaulay's head. DePaul's going to play it another run, and they have opened it up now to an 11-3 lead, and we're back to the top of the order to Macon.
We talked about Bod not having the home runs like Barry Bonds, but showing off the power right there in the left center for the double to bring in another run for the DePauw Tigers, as now the top of the order comes up and Cameron Macon.
Max Bond has put together a nice day, especially he's had his air in the field, but outside of that, he has been pretty clean at shortstop.
We talked about the young guys on this DePauw team, and this good DePauw team, obviously. We've talked about the young guys that they have performing, and all of them have had very good days today. Have been impressive to watch.
Back to the top of the order, here comes Macon. Macon, he has reached 3 times so far today. And it's 1-0 on Macon as it misses outside. Looks like Justin Kreller still warming up in the bullpen for the Tigers. With Max Bond standing at second base. 1-0 on Macon. Here's a pitch to Macon. Nice backdoor curveball in there. Got the outer edge for strike 1, and it's 1-1. One and one on Macon.
Good job by Mayer looking to get ahead in the count right here.
Not about the backdoor pick, but we'll stay on. Maynard on the mound. 2 balls and 1 strike. With 2 away on Cam Macon. Maynard comes set. Here's the pitch. And a curveball misses outside. It's 3-1. 11-3 the score here in the top half of the 9th. Tigers will have another crack at it. And we'll have about a 30-minute intermission before we move into game number 2 of this 2-game doubleheader. And the final game for the Wittenberg Tigers here at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. Backdoor curveball got the upper half of the zone, and we've gone full 3-2.
Very good pitch right there by Maynard. Looking to finish this inning off. And as you said, obviously second game of this doubleheader soon to come after game number 1. Tigers run a 12-game winning streak, like you said. This could be their 3rd straight loss, though, after the 12-game winning streak.
Here's the pitch, fouled back, out of play. We're to the 3-2 again.
But as we said, they were 9-12 to begin the season, and then they won their 12 straight, putting them at 21-12. They've lost 2 straight since then. Looking to see if they can make some magic happen in the bottom of the 9th to maybe not allow this losing streak to go to 3. But regardless, have the second game here today, last game here at Carlton-Davidson Stadium.
3-2. Here's a pitch from Maynard. It's in the dirt. Ball 4. Macon will draw his second walk of the day. And he's aboard once again. He has done a terrific job from the leadoff spot. And here comes Florida. As Lewis Florida will stand into the batter's box with 2 on and 2 out.
Go ahead.
Wittenberg heading into this game had 2 conference losses. They were 10-2 in conference. Their 2 conference losses were a combined 2 runs. They lost by 1 against Worcester, game 1 of that doubleheader. As this one hit pretty well. Going back, O'Malley right in front of the track and dropped it. O'Malley had it in his glove. He'll drop it. A couple runs will come to plate for DePauw, and DePauw has opened it up. Now they lead 13-3 here in the top half of the 9th. It'll be an E9 on Connor O'Malley. Just lost it in the sun, then had it in his glove before it pops out, and the inning will continue. DePauw gets a few more. It's 13-3.
Yeah, sun did just enough damage right there. Right when it gets around 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when you really see it start being an issue for the right side of the field. Just got O'Malley a little bit because we know how good of a defender O'Malley is out there in right field. Unfortunately, he drops that one and scores 2 more runs to make it a 10-run game.
Second error on Wittenberg today. Going back to what I was saying, Wittenberg, they were down pretty big. They were down 13-3 in that game 1 against Worcester a couple weeks ago, on the verge of being run rolled. Then they struck for 9. Came all the way back, ended up losing 13-12.
Yeah, when you see a score normally at 3-13, as that ball is grounded to the right side, and
Rodriguez
Xander
will
makes
take
a great
it,
play.
and we'll just tag him out. And then Wittenberg ended up losing by 1. When they came back, they were down 9-3. Came back, they ended up losing 9-8, straining the tying run on third. This game a little bit different. They're down 13-3. And before we go to the bottom of the 9th, I think you have something else you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously down 10 runs going in the bottom of the 9th. Going to be hard to come back, but we've seen stranger things happen, so don't go away. We still have 3 outs that the DePauw Tigers need to get, and the Wittenberg Tigers hope to maybe make something happen, and even if not pull out a win, get some momentum going into game number 2. Maybe open the offense up a little bit, maybe score 1, crack some hits, something to have some positive energy going into game number 2.
And the clawback Tigers strike again. We're going to the bottom of the 9th, 13-3. DePauw on top. Chase Burton will lead things off in the bottom of the 9th, 13-3. DePauw leading the Wittenberg Tigers. Look for some more pinch hitters than what we're used to. Or some players getting some at-bats that we're not necessarily used to here in the bottom of the 9th. In a game that's 13-3, still a lot can happen. Of course, the Tigers, they've had their fair share of massive innings. They've scored 10 runs in a single inning before, not just on one occasion, but a couple of occasions this season. So we're waiting to see if they're able to do it again, and there's some more magic left in the tank as first pitch to Burton in there for strike number 1. Chase Burton, a .250 hitter. He is 1 for 4 this season. He's been used as a pinch runner quite a bit. In fact, 6 runs on his stat line.
As we've talked about before, right? Younger guys coming in, sometimes you're not going to be looked at as an everyday guy if you're a younger guy, but finding a role, and Jace Burton has done just that. 6 runs scored, as you've said. Not a lot of at-bats so far in his young career, but this is a very good athlete, very fast player, a good guy with a lot of potential that the Tigers look to use in future years.
2 balls and 1 strike as that missed in on Burton. Opportunity for Burton to try to reach base. Fastball down the middle for strike 2. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Burton. So Mets only works from the stretch. This one fouled back out of play. Burton will stay alive.
Good job by Burton. Able to stay alive with 2 strikes.
Yeah. Okay. I will. All right. Okay. All right.
2-2 on Burton. Bottom of the 9th, 13-3. DePauw leads. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses away. It's 3-2.
Good at bat here from Burton. Let's see if he can finish this thing out and win this at bat.
Three on 2. Swing and a miss. Burton's down via the punch out. And the Tigers down to their final couple of outs here in the 9th. Here comes Thatcher Dietz. So Thatcher Dietz now coming to the batter's box for the second time today. He's 0 for 1. Wittenberg in this game, 1 for 9 with 2 outs, 4 for 15 with runners on, and 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Dietz turns on one, takes a drive into left field, and it comes up just short on the warning track for a quick out number 2. So Dietz is retired. And here comes Dan Gladden to the batter's box.
I thought Dietz might have had himself one right there. Just didn't get enough. Just in front of the track. Had a couple long flyouts for the Tigers here today, the Wittenberg Tigers here today. Daniel Gladden now looks to get something started here with 2 outs.
Gladden will stand into the batter's box. He has not recorded a hit this season. He's 0 for 2.
Gladden, just a sophomore.
So an opportunity for Daniel Gladden to get his first hit of the year. Fastball misses low. Ball 1.
Gladden came in as a 2-way player, guy who hit and pitched, very good athlete.
1-0 on Daniel Gladden, misses downstairs. It's now 2-0. It's moments like this where you can really start to find yourself a role on the team. Make the most out of your opportunities. Able to get that one down the middle for strike 1. It's 2-1 on Gladden.
Of course, coaches talk about it all the time, right? Every opportunity matters, especially in games like this. You see McGee going to pinch hit, give guys opportunities.
2-1. Late there on the fastball, and it's 2-2 on Gladden. Two balls and 2 strikes on Daniel Gladden. Two outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Gladden is down via the punch-outs. And DePauw will take game 1 of this 2-game series and this 2-game doubleheader, blowing out the Wittenberg Tigers as they win it 13-3.
Yeah, just not a pretty game if you're the Wittenberg Tigers. Obviously, got to put it behind you. Got to put it behind you because you got a big game number 2 right here, as now there are 3 teams that have 3 losses that are at the top of the NCAC, right? So coming forward, this game right here is very important. You do not want to be the team to get the 4 losses right now, right? If you're DePauw and or Wittenberg, right? Because Denison, they play Oberlin today in their doubleheader, right? So theirs doesn't impact as much as this game does because no matter what, someone's going to 4 losses. Can the Wittenberg Tigers prevent that from happening in game number 2? We shall see.
It's going to be a big game, and if we thought game 1 had a lot of implications, game 2 certainly does because, as you mentioned, there's Denison lurking in the shadows, and after Wittenberg was able to split with them on Saturday, Now this loss from Wittenberg opens the door for any one of these teams to come in and try to swoop in that number 1 NCAC regular season title. Let's take a look at the box score. It all started in the top half of the first as DePauw was able to push one across. Wittenberg took a 3-1 lead in the second. Answer back with 4 in the third for DePauw to take a 5-3 lead. Then it was all DePauw. Pitching duel between inning 4, 5, and 6. DePauw struck for 5 in the 7th after a 3-run home run by Hunter Herbeck. They got a couple more as well to make it 10-3. They added 3 more insurance in the 9th. As Wittenberg 3 runs off 9 hits, 2 errors. DePauw 13 runs off 13 hits and 1 error. A bad day for the Wittenberg Tigers. They're now on a 3-game losing streak, but they will look to snap that and get back on the winning side in Game 2 of this 2-game doubleheader. Game 2 will start here in about 30 minutes or so, expecting 5:20 to 5:30, right around there. But alongside Dylan Jackson, our producer Cliff, I'm Jackson Lycap. We'll be back here on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by TKDS Sports, in about 30 minutes or so for game numero dos.